You can do it.
Hello, hello,
God.
hello. Oh, hold on. One camera's not on for me. Oh, no, just I just say, okay.
You couldn't give us even a minute to appreciate that there's a dog, Peach, on the camera right now. You had to come in and make it about you.
I don't look at you before I mute, okay? I'm not aware there's a dog. You're on mute.
Naked,
You're on
man.
mute. If you're naked, you fuck me.
To get ready.
If you are naked, I am gone from Twitch. You end the show, you end the campaign, you end everything about me. All right, I'm taking the trust that I'm not going to unmute and see a cock. But seeing a dog is a pleasant surprise. So I'm sorry for ruining your moment. But now Chad gets to see a dog, I guess. So that's good. So really...
Oh, no, they're leaving. They're leaving right now.
Okay.
They're scampering off now.
Bye, Peach.
Dodger, Berlin, Paris.
Beaming in from Berlin.
Dodger!
She can't hear us.
She
Hold
can't
on.
hear us yet.
It's okay.
She has AirPods in. She can't hear us.
I think it's the opposite way around that time.
Yeah.
Well, hello, level 10ers. You guys have hit that big old 1-0. Lots of... Okay, what's wrong? You don't like being level 10? What the fuck's wrong, dude?
It's not that. It's the way you said hello, Tanner.
I didn't like...
Really.
I'm still stuck on the, like, Aruga. Yeah,
that's
you
cool.
said, coming in.
Aruga.
No,
That's
it
good.
isn't.
That's cool. Everyone likes alarms.
Wait.
No, it isn't.
Nobody liked that.
Okay, chat
Wait,
for some
was that
content.
what happened when my headphones were off?
No, I didn't say it aloud.
He
I typed in
typed
the...
it, which I think is...
It's worse to
As bad.
It's
It's not worse. It's
dumber.
not... What?
It's dumber to type it.
It's
It's
not-
more
dumber.
stupid.
It's my alarm. It's my... How else am I meant to do an alarm?
People's
You've never
alarms
done
go
that.
beep, beep, beep.
You
They
have-
don't go, like, fucking
Well, that's
siren
it. It's just...
alarm.
In however many
Yeah, it's not like that. It's not the mask.
20 episodes of God
It's like, you know what I mean?
in the 62 episodes of this, you've never done that. That's not.
It's
That's
like
not.
that
That's not
meme
true.
that's
I'm
like-
control effing. I'm control effing.
Good,
I've done this
control
before.
F it.
Have you
Hold on.
Aruga?
Never done
Control
this
F.
ever.
What's
I've done
that
Aruga about
meme?
12 times. Okay, on the 24th of September, on the 8th of October, on the 25th of February.
enough to make
Look
it
at the
a thing,
Arugas.
God.
I've Arugaed all over the place, man.
12 out of 180 episodes.
see-
Not enough.
That's a lot.
Dude, look, all I'm saying is I'm gonna check if every single one of those has an edit next to them because he fucking went back to cover his
They
tracks.
don't have edits.
now.
I Arugaed, okay?
I just want to say,
Okay,
like,
can you?
hey guys, we have like 5 minutes till I like unmute. That's like the meme that's like, oh, how sweet. And then the Aruga is like, this is sexual
Hello, HR.
harassment.
It's not sexual harassment. It's not sexual harassment. Okay, it's a perfectly normal
It's
thing.
been a repeated pattern.
Joe, can you make the noise that you like in your head? There's a noise
Sure.
when you
Wait,
type.
can you wait a second? Wait, hold on. Please.
Oh, okay, great.
doesn't wanna
Wow,
hear it.
that's a mute up. Okay, great. That's an alarm! That's an alarm! You're in a place that someone's broken into a facility and you hear that alarm. That's pretty good.
I'd rather you upload an MP3 of an alarm going off into the Discord chat than you ever do this again.
That wasn't. It wasn't bad.
He liked it, see? He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
bad.
There's a red light flashing. He liked it. He's a big
It
fan.
wasn't the worst that I've heard.
Thank you.
You
All right.
can't be. If someone says that wasn't the worst thing ever, you can't be like, they love it. See, they love
Well,
it.
I mean,
He wants to hear it every week now.
my insecure stuff can, dude. All right, okay. If they like it, they love it. All right. Sexual harassment, Arugas aside. Let's see. Has anyone got anything want to shout out before we get started with? Yes. Bree. has.
Shout
Anyone
out to
have?
the. Oh, thank you. I was wondering if you forgot my name. Shout out to the Discord user Ryuja who went through every single Godforged episode to find out how many times people had done the recaps in
They
Godforged
did
as
a
well.
Godforged one too.
Oh, this one's not gonna be
no.
fair.
Yep, and that's in the Sunforged spoilers chat.
bring that up
If
on-
Joe, you would like to refer to that?
Sure, I'll bring that up on
If I
chat.
had
I'm exempt
tomato,
from
I'd
judgment
go
on this
eat.
one.
I just want to
This
say
one
the
I'm
only reason
I bet
Bree
I'm
would
less
bring
than
this
you.
up is if there was some form of vindication in because there's no way Bree would bring this up with
Vindication.
nothing to gain.
I mean, Dodger and I and OLG, we are always good. We are always in the crystal clear with these counts. So
What the fuck?
So-
what the fuck?
So I do see the numbers. I do see the numbers.
Why wasn't I? I feel like I read a good amount.
Oh, I don't know, Serena. Maybe you should look at the numbers.
Hold on. We'll take this into account. We'll take this into account. Okay, let's go through it. Okay, so
That's fair.
For those present here, probably this is probably fair. Right?
Yeah.
Me 35 times.
Fair.
Dodge, you're in second place with 23. Impressive amount. Bree Bun with 20.
Thank you.
Yeah, 20 times. Very good.
I also showed up late, by the way, Tomato.
That's also true.
Damn.
We can.
Crazy,
Yeah, it's true.
actually.
You are okay, a little bit earlier.
Dude only missed. Hang on. Dude only missed 50 eps. Let's relax, dude. Out of like 200 and something.
Oh,
Okay.
What the?
We didn't play 200 episodes. Sam, how long do you think we've been in that campaign for?
Dude, I lost years of my life with that
Didn't
shit.
I
I
come
don't
in
know.
exactly halfway through? Wasn't that? Like
It's about 120.
I think you-
120.
Yeah.
So
It felt like longer,
Tomorrow did come in about
Yeah.
episode 60-ish, right? So he'd come about halfway in. Dodger came in about episode 15-ish. So we can give an extra couple to Dodger. That makes sense. 25,
Double
right?
his score.
And we'll double. We could probably double Tomatoes. That might be fair.
Okay, that means it's really bad.
Um,
he knows that my score is so bad that doubling it will not change.
It does put
any-
OG on 16. And Tomato, that would also double your 8 to 16.
Thank God.
And then we get onto the two that I'm a little concerned about.
So he doesn't get his 8 doubled. All right, that's ridiculous.
Dude, I missed half of it. and
No.
I
There ain't no
would've read
way.
them.
There ain't no way.
Here's a question though. When did I start?
say-
When did I stop reading them?
Like halfway through, like when he joined, you stopped reading them.
No,
That's
well,
You
fucking
did them
no,
for a
that
really
was-
long time as Silk. Like you did them for a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't
And that was-
even
I
know.
did
You
35
for a long
times.
time, man.
So probably 30 episodes. So to be fair, Dodger then wouldn't have any added points. Then tomorrow probably would only get. I say I did it for 30 episodes. Tomorrow you can only add a 4 on, which knocks you to 12, which still puts you ahead of Sam's 11.
As I should.
Okay, so hang on. You're just gonna give him a fake number with no
you
evidence,
are grasping
and then
so
say it's
fucking
higher
hard.
than my
Any
real
way
number.
to beat me, and it's
I'm
crazy.
just saying, man. Like the stats are there, dude. If he's lower than me, he's lower than me. That is what it is.
And Shane
Bro.
at 10.
Shane again.
Let's go!
Somehow sneaking
Shane
under.
again.
This, if it's happened twice, it's a
doing
pattern now, and Shane is up to
Crack,
something.
dude.
I'm gonna be honest.
Shane?
Shane, I expected better from you, man. Honestly.
It's pretty crazy, man. We're all disappointed.
Fool me once, man. Like, how many times you gonna get away with it?
It's a pretty hefty one today, Shane, so I'd roll up your throat.
Come on,
Because
man.
you're going to be reading this one.
he's bleeding.
I should have saved my birthday for this week.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, shut up, huh?
All right, let's get started. We'll get started with today's episode then. Shane, do you want to go ahead and hit that recap?
Oh, he has to gargle and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do your vocal exercises,
Energize.
guys.
Me mama. I just closed it. Hold on.
Great.
Why is there a break in it? Is this just my formatting? I don't know.
I don't know. It just read the,
The top
words,
line
Now he's-
Shane.
He's
Read the
not
damn
critiquing
words.
it now.
He can't remember how it works.
There's a dramatic pause at the beginning. Hold on. Last we left off, we fought the champion of design and won over the favor of the Sunchild, with it agreeing to build a replica of Warmsteps in a safer position over the ley line. It began working on it and sent an automaton with us. When returning to camp before going up into the town of Warmsteps, we decided to have Remove Curse cast on us to see if our minds had been tampered with. They had. I looked at the camera and I lost my place. Hold on.
They had.
This is why you
They
don't
had.
do it.
They had.
You're good, you're good.
It's in the center before Sister Abigail.
Sister Abigail was revealed to be Selendai Nethelio,
Mhm.
a dangerous reality mage that had captured us after Crownheart Hall. She accidentally wiped all of Spring's memories and then a few days of ours. We learned she worked with Shadow, one of the children of the three. We also learned that sentient weapons with the presence of rage within them were in wait inside Warmsteps. Upon unveiling all of this, we had 3 matters to deal with. Confronting Selendi. Is this Selendi or Selendai?
So then die. It sounds cooler.
I said
Selendai.
Selendi last stream. I'm sorry, everybody.
Ooh.
Hey, hey.
In character.
Never apologize for a word you've only written.
Selendai does sound
True.
cooler.
It does.
Convincing the council to move the town over the vault and stopping the sentient arms. The end.
You don't have to say the end.
Yeah.
The end.
You
Love you, bye.
maybe I'll make the recaps 25 words or less. You've all just stopped out of Vanderval's store. You've moved on. You've had your memories restored, each of you. You saw the 3 days that you spent in captivity from Selendai. But you also have this pressing issue of there is an automaton in your camp waiting for you from design that you must convince a council to move their entire town. With Warmsteps beside you, Selendai and camp, a sentient arm somewhere in the town, you'd learned that from Vanderval that it was a kind of a mercenary group. They ran one of the levels of the town, the 13th level. You also know that there are a series of bandits and kind of external factors that were working against the town, the ones who had invaded before, under the Boulette. There's a lot of pressing things starting to come into collision. So, with you outside of Vanderval's, where would you like to go?
Do you think we could pay off the sentient arms to turn in their weapons?
I mean, they are mercs, right?
Yeah, I was thinking like I have a lot of money, and
Just hire them to do something outside of town.
yeah. But can you guys go be farmers? I'll pay you X amount. Lay down your sentient weapons, and never come back.
We have a job for you, but you can't use those.
Yeah, I also am like,
I really need you to just leave those here.
yeah. I'm wondering if they don't use them, will they try to call to other people? Is it like that? Do we need to like destroy the weapons? I don't know.
Well, they need to get rid of them. And
Yeah, I'm
you'd have
worried.
to try to like get them out of town with the weapons, right?
Yeah.
I get this weird vibe that if we walk up to any of them, we're like, "Can you put that down?" It's gonna get really bad really fast.
Yeah,
Like, I get the weird feeling that's like an activation phrase
Yeah.
for
Out
everything to get
immediately.
really
Yeah.
bad.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Then maybe we could try to speak to the blacksmith who designs the weapons for them. Maybe figure out how, because like they've been imbued supposedly.
Do we know who made them? Were we told that?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I think the other option we have is to go to the council and tell them like, hey, why don't we take some guards to whatever floor they're on, right? And keep them at least in a place, right? Like,
Yeah.
so they can't be all over the town.
it'll be easier to sell the whole like, hey, there's some bad stuff happening with some weapons in the town if we also have that automaton and the whole vault thing that we can point to and say like, there's our credentials for how believable this should be now.
Yeah.
I don't know, that backfires and us telling the council is going to start the rest of the problem faster.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard because we don't know how much of the council is corrupt.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
But on the plus side, at least a plus side for us in the negotiation department, we're basically going in there and being like, you can either leave or fall and die, right? Like, this town is gonna die. It's gonna fall. So,
Yeah. I sometimes do forget that is a deception for us because it technically won't be falling unless we immediately do something to make it fall, right?
Yeah.
I think
So we do have to also be quite convincing in that threat.
if the whole council is there, it'll be easier to potentially tell who is corrupted, whatever, right? If they're all in the same room. Because whoever freaks out and is like, I gotta go, I left my oven on or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah. Immediately starts acting suspicious.
sure.
True.
So I guess I guess the major thing before we go in there then is to agree on what we do and don't say.
Yeah.
Like, do we want to go in there and be like, hey, we literally saw and had a long conversation with design? Or do we want to continue this sort of like traditional thread and say we went to try and commune with design and he told us this is going to happen and we have this guy?
It's a good question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Before we answer that. So we leveled up, but we didn't actually take a long rest. So what benefits do we have and not have?
We did, didn't
because
we?
did we
you didn't rest.
You would need to long rest again now if you want to gain your benefits level 10 technically.
Oh.
I forgot that we tried to. And Joe was like, you already did that, bitches.
Yeah.
I don't mind you doing it again, considering you got a level up. That'd be like the one circumstance where you could have a little resty.
I think that might be a good idea.
I know, because it's like,
it won't
even
break
if
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even just like the fact of how confusing everything is going to be with everyone having levels now applied. I
Yes.
think taking that
Yeah.
risk regardless would probably be a smart idea.
Agree. And I feel like it would make sense for our characters. We just got a fucking truth bomb. For us to
Long
be
day.
like, I
Long
need
day.
to sleep.
Let's sleep
Yeah.
on it.
Let's
Yeah.
sleep it off because holy fuck. I
Yeah.
mean, I am worried about the weapons thing, but I don't know how pressing of an issue it's going to be.
The only thing about sleeping
So.
is the vault will probably be shut by the time you wake up.
I feel like when we left, I kind of made peace with the fact that it was going to be shut no matter what. We were not going
We tried to
going
sneak
back.
the anyway, right?
Yeah,
That's
we
why
were
we
kind
brought
of
in a TomTom back with us. As
Vault.
we
Yeah, as long as you're good with it, then you could definitely go back to your camps, go back to your tents, and then kick in a long rest to start the next day.
I feel like that's wise. Just resources, and if everything
Yeah.
kicks off and we don't have everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a fresh
We're
day
screwed.
would be a good call.
Okay. Slipping back over towards your tents and taking the chance to rest off the wounds that you'd kind of traveled. You guys, in the last day, have traveled into the vault, had all of this kind of knowledge given to you, had the restorative curse and your memories back to you, and also confronted a pretty dangerous creature that you defeated. So, resting up all of that, deciding to kind of sleep on it and take the next day as your advantage. You each go back into your camps, rest for the night, and this is where the level up officially kicks in, as you are a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little bit more ready for what is to come. With that being said, it would be the morning by the time you wake. Probably early, like maybe 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. If you'd kind of rested up in the evenings hours. Assuming you want to wait until the morning. You could probably have gone out at probably like 6, but less things are open. But you could always get up at that time and kind of stand around camp a little bit. But yeah, regardless, you've had a long rest. You're in your campsite. The town of Warmsteps in sight from you guys. Kind of bustling. The kind of campsite you're in already waking up for the morning. People prepping their stuff for the day, getting food and grub going before starting their daily affairs. Leaving you guys with whatever you want to do.
All right. Before Andrasta does anything else, she would hop into the spellbook and see what scroll she gets.
Good idea. All right, let's do the roll.
What is it? Just a d20, right?
Yes, I think
15.
so. 15. Can you tell me what that means?
1d4 plus 1.
A 1d4 plus 1. Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Why is it not? I'll just do it this way.
Yeah, you just do it manually.
2.
A 2, so it'd be a level 2 spell. Hold on. All right. All right. Give me a D1. Level 2. Give me a D140. A little randomized list here.
120.
No, sorry. 1d40. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
25.
25. All right, you get a scroll of see 25. It's gonna be a scroll of hold person.
Ooh.
So a nice little
That
scroll
might be
of hold
good.
person.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for me to have then just done the 4-hour trance and done it when I woke up so I had enough time to learn it before everyone else woke up?
Nice.
Yeah, you could definitely learn it.
Okay.
Sick.
That's good.
There'll be a point with your book where you can just give out the scrolls as well to other people that can cast whenever you need them. So there'll be some mixture of that as well. But you can learn whole person for sure. Add it to your spell repertoire. And you have that spell now given to you. All right.
Okay. Above board, I now have Rary's telepathic bond, so that should help as we're all in there
Oh, hell yeah.
or wherever. And I can ritually cast it, so I don't need to do the slot. So.
Okay.
Perfect.
Are you ritually? How long does it last for?
No, it's only an hour, so I
Okay.
would do it
You're
before.
gonna wait.
I'm just
Okay.
saying that, like, above board, as we try to plan stuff out,
That works.
that's available to us now.
Sweet. All right then. Yeah. Where's your first heading? Into the town?
I think we need to decide really quick. Are we telling them design? We can do this in character even too.
Yeah.
Are we saying we spoke to design firsthand? Are we saying we had an epiphany on the cliffs? Design reached out to us.
I feel like it's simultaneously less believable that we literally spoke to design, and also saying we didn't makes what we're saying less believable.
Yeah.
They
So
also, like,
It's rough.
Yeah.
if we really just want to get them to move right away, won't they be like, that's fucking cool? We'll have a town built by. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hope they just like
they're
are
so like
excited.
money hungry and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, now we can add this cachet of like,
That's
oh,
the
we
hope.
moved, but it's because.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Before I
I think
forget, by
if
the
we
way.
want it to move,
Sorry to interrupt. Can someone do the D100 for the day?
Oh yeah.
No, dude.
I'll do it.
Go for it.
I have terrible luck. Let's go. An 85.
Okay.
You die.
oh, it's
What?
a new day. Hang on, I gotta
What
do
the
a roll
heck?
too. D4 plus 1.
Sorry, I interrupted you guys. Nice. A 2.
It's all good.
That's okay. So we want to
Um,
say
We talked
You
to
know what?
design. Maybe we
It's
should just
probably
say we went
best-
in a vault. Like,
It's probably best the door is shut. Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause now they
because
can't go
of
in.
the fact
there.
they can't get in, and it makes everything else we're going to tell them, like, oh look, there's a whole city being built. It's
Yeah.
so
Right.
much more believable if we're like if we just say we had a dream about
We
it.
already,
Like,
yeah.
they're gonna be like,
we
what?
went,
True.
yeah.
Like,
we
have
talked
so
to the
much
guy.
stuff attached that makes
Here's
it
the
believable.
guy that
That's
guy
right,
sent
true.
with us. He's right here. Look at him. Also,
Yeah, the
look
automaton.
that way with a telescope, and you can see your town being built.
yeah.
Perfect.
It's
So
cool,
that-
guys.
It's a little further away. It's
Yeah.
they would need to journey for a few hours to see it, but
They are
Okay.
We'll have to go to the
They're
cliffs, right? The cliffs of
really
innovation.
mechanically minded. They probably have a magic telescope. They can
It'd be very
fucking
hard.
Yeah.
zoom that way.
Should
All
we
right,
give them a
you don't know
time
everything they
limit
have there.
on how fast we need them to evacuate the city? And,
Yeah,
like,
on
have it
principle. Like, if
empty?
they're being dicks, yes, we should be like, and it needs to be done in 2 hours.
right. Because
And then if they're nice, we can tell them it could be longer.
Should we say that design is the one that will crush the city so it alleviates our?
So we shrug emoji it, like, sorry.
Because if we're like, we have to do this, they might
mean-
just try to kill us.
Yeah, I mean, like, the problem is if we say it's designed, they're gonna be like, cool, not super jazzed about getting in a city
Yeah.
made by the
True.
guy.
Made by
That's
this
true.
guy.
So I think it's either honesty in what the danger is.
I think we'd present it as the ley line is going to move no matter what.
Yeah,
You have
and people
no
will be
choice in
crushed.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your choice
Which is the truth.
here's
We're
your
just
heads
not saying
up.
We're gonna
Yeah.
turn off
Yeah,
your little
that's
valve
right.
here. Yeah.
Your heads up is that you have this grace to now take the time to get all your shit and get it moved over there, and then it's gonna
Yeah.
happen, right? Like, Sorry. Also,
Okay.
by the way, all the floor 7 or whatever it is ready to murder this whole town. So let's not tell them.
Yeah.
Let's tell every other floor. Leave those mercenaries there, and then they can just crash with the town problems out.
Is that guy part of the... That is actually a good idea. Is
Yeah,
the leader
I know.
of that part of the council? The mercenary? Sentient mercenary?
We could kill one dude with
Do we know? Yeah. You hold person.
That's one fucking guy.
We met
Go to silence. We'll meet with the rest of the council.
we met everybody that was on the council.
You saw them?
Yes, I wrote them down a while ago, somewhere. But I wouldn't mind a reminder.
Indrasa would remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody
yes.
remember what session it
Indrasa
was?
would remember when everyone was introduced to
Probably my
us
old
or whatever.
notebook.
Don't you all
Let's see,
remember?
yeah.
Everybody who was in the council is Marala. She sat at the front, and she, was in that seat that Tranus used to be in. And then there was, looks at DM.
etc.
Blim Blomp. The guy.
Wait,
And then it
you
was
remember?
Flimblomp, the leader of the
Everyone
merc.
loves Blimp Blomp.
You would remember the council because you should see them.
Hmm.
The council is
You know
as
what?
follows from top down. Wait.
Kerbal.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know what session
That's
it
okay.
was.
That's the sentient arms guy. Sorry.
that's
Okay, glad we got there.
Obviously, it was Kerbal,
yes.
right? He's the one with the...
right, of course.
Floor 12. Sorry, yeah. Cellar.
Everybody remembers. Remember exactly what he looks like, right?
He was a half orc, half giant, broad man.
You know, the half-orc,
Okay.
half-giant.
And he was being accused of arming dangerous mobs by Crane. And Kerbal was claiming Crane is a criminal.
They were having some boring feuds, remember, and we didn't really care. So we just sort of ignored it because we had other pressing things. But apparently this half-orc, half-giant was quite important. So good thing I didn't forget. I think his favorite color is blue. And his mother's maiden name is Rose.
The curse of Keen Mind is you always get some useless factoids about the person that you're
You
analyzing.
can't forget them, yeah.
He really likes pizza.
I don't even know what pizza is, but I know he
Yeah.
loves it.
Okay. Was he the hot-headed one at the council meeting?
I don't know. What session was it? I'll look at my notes.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I just remember one of the people at the council
50-ish?
meeting seemed dickish. It was episode, I got you, 47.
Let's see what Andrasa thought then.
As you search for that, though, are you heading
missed it,
towards?
that's why.
Like, where do you? Just because otherwise, it will be no looking up. What is your
Yeah.
intention? Walking towards the town itself now?
I guess so. I mean, do we even want to tell Abigail what's going on?
You can't. We can't right
Like,
now. We
I
can't
think,
do both.
No.
well, can we, what I think I would like to do is, are they still there?
Abigail and Spring?
Yeah, you can go and check.
Oh boy. Can we all go together? Because I'm worried about you going alone. I'm just...
She just
Anyone
wipes
in
all of our memories together
Yes!
anyway.
Well, yeah. Anyone in isolation around her now like freaks me out.
I don't know that we need to really go in. I just think we would
Okay.
like to see if they're there.
Okay.
And then if they're standing outside awkwardly, we'll be like, oh, hey, we're just going to town. Do you guys need anything? You have like a grocery list?
Okay.
Walks over.
You're walking over. How far away you stand from the tent?
I don't know. I imagine we just sort of walk through. Like, I'm not trying to be shady about like, I wonder what they're doing. I want it to look plausible. So I think she would just kind of like walk by
Okay.
as if she's on the way to
Roll a
whatever
perception check.
else.
I'm scared. Why am my tummy hurts? Oh.
17.
You walk past. It's quiet. And then you hear, no problem, I can do this. And then you hear the kind of soft mumble of Abigail's voice saying, it's okay, it takes time, as I talk.
Okay. Make sure everyone knows that.
Okay.
All
So I
right,
guess
we need a
we
meeting with the council,
go-
I guess.
Yeah.
All right. If you're heading over towards the town, then the moment you kind of arrive at the bottom and the base of Warmsteps, you can see that the town itself is in some sort of like daily festival. The moment as you kind of approach it, you can see there's like banners for a festival day called the Creators Call. You can see it's kind of got this almost symbol of a hammer clinking against this like almost like a brain, and then kind of sparks coming off of that, as if it's kind of treating like a brain, like an anvil. There's almost like a marketplace right at the bottom of the town, wrapping around the outside of the town itself, and you can see this kind of this festival is almost designed as a way of people showing off inventions that they've made to see if they can kind of sell and patent them. A lot of people selling older inventions or newer ones. You'd go past a few. You'd see a gnomish creator who's selling a kind of a nose lens. And you can see as he's calling out, teaching people it lets you smell up to kind of 200 feet away from you, a smell of your choice, and hone in on it. There's an elf who's showing off a new material. They've got a sword, and you can see it's regrowing behind a glass container. They're selling this kind of material called organomite, an organic metallic substance where you can kind of build your weapons out of it and regrow them, or tools as well. They can see like almost this mining pick that's been corroded, slowly growing back, like a lizard's tail. A half-orc is also selling an umbrella. You can see that they're testing it out. They put a bit of a strawberry in the center of this umbrella top, and they pour water down, and the rain collects down, comes around, and comes into a straw down to their mouth, and flavors it into like a strawberry flavor. People kind of queuing up to try and buy one of those. And you'd also see other ones, such as there's a human as well, who's got a spray potion spraying on some plants. And it's this kind of almost condensed version of haste that causes the plants to grow a little faster. An Aarakocra who's spliced a worm and a mole together, and it toils so much faster, eating on the kind of dead plants in the area, going through kind of toiling perfect soil. But loads of inventions just being kind of sold around the area. But one of the major things you would notice, if you actually give me some perception checks.
Yes.
And I know you're pressing, you can stop to buy things if you like, but of course, there is more pressing matters at hand, I understand.
So not one, not a 23.
Understand. Yeah, maybe you're...
Imagine not wanting at 23. That's
You're focused on your...
insane.
yeah, it's ridiculous. You're focused on your kind of... your forward goal here.
And the trauma.
You rolled the highest. Everyone's rolled kind of low. 6, 12, 11, 10. I would say the only things you'd pick up on there would be, based on that, is you would hear a kind of a newsboy who's walking around. He goes, "Read all about it. The Guild of Drifting Sparks to shut down warehouse due to major malfunction. 4 dead from fallen automaton. Taxed by the council, read all about it." And you can see his kid's kind of go around trying to give out the little news, ringing a little bell as he does. People coming over to him, kind of reading these kind of almost like little leaflets showing off the fact that the Drifting Sparks Guild has shut down its warehouse around this area, giving off news.
I'd go get one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see what everyone else is saying about it, right?
Yeah, you can see it's a lot of it's almost written like a paper, but it's kind of these kind of rolled up kind of news column. And it's got a lot of people's like reactions. Yeah, I saw it collapsing from the sky. It was late at night. I heard this bang. Kind of people nearby. The process that they needed to rescue anyone they could from the collapsing of like the tents below where it fell. It kind of mentions like the people from the Drifting Sparks Guild refused to give comment to any of them, and they avoided all kind of interaction. But it
There's
seems like
speculation about like why it fell or anything.
No, you see that it's mostly the Guild of Drifting Sparks is kind of not giving any statements, so they're presumed to have had just a malfunction in their warehouse. But otherwise, as you're walking along, the only other thing you'd probably walk past, a couple of posters. Made by the Okra's Guild of Patented Gadgets and Unmatched Artificery. You'd see these posters on the wall that would catch a glimpse, which would be the face of Adelaide, kind of sketched in. And it says, "We are paying. If you have seen our lost automaton, have any information, or know the locate creature spell, we will pay you for it. Please visit us on Rixar Layer 9.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome to D&D.
How
There's a spell for that.
how far?
Fuck,
Wait.
fuck.
How far is it from our camp to town?
I believe you camped fairly close, but within like 20
I
minutes.
think
did.
so.
Yeah. 20 minutes probably? 30 minutes?
So not close enough that someone could do the locate creature spell
Well, it
in
would have to be
town
close.
and find
I
Yeah.
could, but
1,000 feet.
what I was actually thinking is that I could also go back because I have Nistel's magic aura, and I could cast it on her for at least a day if we were that worried about it.
that
and
is
then
a
it
good
will
spell for
hide.
that.
It would hide her. I could change her creature type, right? So it might hide her. It might not. It also says I can false aura, change the way a target appears to spells with magical effects that detect, well, magical auras. I don't know if it would
Is-
save her that much, but
As far as their plan to do locate creatures, that won't cut it.
yeah.
If they're gonna go so far as scrying, like that's where I
Yeah.
guess it doesn't. They're not like the posters. I guess don't imply that that's their plan.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I think we just keep going, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good to know,
Um,
though.
All right, then would you you go into the area in the center, you have the gloves so you can ride the ley line. Which floor are you aiming to go to?
We're just going straight to the council.
I
aren't we?
guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is anyone giving us looks with this automaton with us?
What
Oh,
weird
yeah,
is
the
this?
design one.
No,
it-
good point. It would go along with you. I think you'd get a lot of looks of curiosity. It's silent behind you, like not really reacting until you speak with it. You get people that would curiously look at it, like impressed by the design because it is floating light that's gathering around glass. They're kind of looking to see how you've done it and wondering what kind of the magic behind it is. So curiosity of a lot of creators. There might be even a couple of people that you would see this kind of halfling with like a wrench on their belt walk over to you and go like, oh, how did you manage that? Oh, great design, that one. And look to you collectively as a group.
I nod like we totally created it. Come on. You know.
All right, then, keep your secrets. And he wanders on by you, carrying off into the crowd, leaving you to keep your automaton silent with them. The automaton wouldn't need a glove. It would attach itself to the ley line and kind of ride it up, as if light kind of drifting.
Show off.
Cool.
But if you do head up all the way to the top, you'd be arriving on the kind of the highest peak of the Warmsteps. Despite the fact it's so high up, it's not as cold as it probably would be. There's not much wind, but it's enough that there's a little bit of a chill in the air, like being atop a tall hill. But you'd be arriving on the top platform, and immediately kind of be met with almost a gathering of people. There's guards in front making sure people are kind of going forward, but what is usually a locked off kind of layer for nobility and the council and people important to it is now. Are you asking a question, Oji?
I forgot that we were just walking straight up there. I think I'll do a telepathic bond before we.
Smart.
Okay.
Very smart.
Remind
all
us again
connected.
what all that entails.
Oh, I'll post it here.
Yeah.
Thank
I believe
you.
in a nutshell, you're all telepathic between each other. Does it catch
Yeah.
everyone? Which will allow you to
I
talk in
think
your
so.
heads.
Hold on.
When you have conversations and whatnot. Because once you start the council meeting, there will be an element of everything you say will be in
8
character
million creatures. So
for the most part.
I'll do that before we go up.
Perfect.
It lasts an hour, so talk fast.
When you arrive there, you'd see they've let people on. There's public kind of gathering. A good like maybe 100 to 150 people have kind of gathered before a podium. There seems to be a big cloth over a device in the center of the kind of great, like almost like the kind of grounds, the park grounds that are outside the council chambers. The only buildings that are up here are kind of the facilities straight for the main guild hall. They're kind of their offices and their areas as well. Some guard areas, and then the lord of the house Spectu, which is the house that owns Warmsteps technically. Their almost keep is over to one side. But right in the center is this kind of podium, and the guards are letting people come in and gather below as they're going to unveil some sort of invention. So you arrive to kind of a crowd of people on a line, and you'd have to join the line before getting in, unless you got any other ideas.
Is there like clearly somebody who is like controlling?
They're kind of ushering people in and stuff. Yeah. You'd see like a kind of almost a head guard, almost like a sergeant at arms almost, who's kind of like, yep, okay, let these ones through now. Check those. Kind of, he's the one kind of controlling the crowds, walking back and forth. A military man wearing the kind of symbol of House Spectu.
Yeah, I think Tack would hop out of the queue to approach him.
Okay. Yep. Hello. Sorry, can I help you?
I'm part of the Six. We have an urgent matter to discuss with the council. We were asked to meet with them.
I mean, the council's preparing for the summit after the reveal. Are you?
I understand. This is very important. We were tasked with elements of safety surrounding the town, and we really needed to discuss things with them.
What a persuasion check. You have a +2 to this because it's the first time you've interacted with this guy, and you used your name that you got from the posters.
Haha. A 35.
Beautiful.
Right. Okay. Of course. Yep. Well, you go and warn the council. We're going to have an emergency meeting. Tell them it's imminent. It's with the Six. And you see, it kind of calls a guard off who kind of rushes over towards the council chambers. If you'd come with me, I'll escort these ones into the ground around the parade. And you see a guard kind of leads you through like a side passage area and kind of wrapping around. You can see the crowd is gathering around this area. As you kind of step over to the side, you'd see someone's rushed off towards the guild hall, along with up on like kind of the stage area. Someone like this kind of little messenger boy rushes up and kind of whispers something in the ear of. You'd see Lester Renwrench, who's a young gnome who owns one of the kind of he's one of the on the council members. He's on the floor. I think it's let me double check. Yeah, the second one down from the top, the one just below Myrala's. He owns the first smithing guild. He gets whispered in the ear. He gets up and kind of wanders back towards the council chamber. And then they also whisper to Kerbal, who's on the stage as well, who looks frustrated. And he kind of, like arguing now. And then he wanders back over towards the count guild hall as well. Before a spokesperson comes up, he gets told a little bit, and he walks over to the kind of standing podium, and he calls out, "There'll be a slight delay of about 15 to 30 minutes before we do the reveal, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out." You can hear groans in the crowd. We assure you this will be a spectacle to be seen, a grand invention to better our city. And
I'm
you can see
so
the
scared.
crowd is talking.
Like, what the hell is it? Is it like classic set? Like, there's a big sheet over a thing.
Yes, it's a sheet over something quite triangular, quite gem-like, crystal-like in its shape. It almost looks like almost like it comes to a peak, like a tip at the top, like a triangle coming down and kind of reverts down at the bottom, like a diamond shape.
Is it?
Is this in the middle of a stage, or is this in the middle of a room?
Yeah, behind a stage, floating on kind of a circular disc, hovering above it, completely covered with a cloth. Guards around it, podium, crowd. Yep.
So, in Godforged, we knew that there were ships that were from High Loma that used like focuses to like power themselves and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I assume we would know about that because now we're in High Loma. Would we know about sort of like the giant focuses that, or would Andrasa know, I guess, about the giant focuses that they have on the other continent as well?
Ooh.
Because bear in mind,
if it's something like
it's a
that.
big continent. And
yeah. No, 17.
I mean, 17 is still 17. You know they exist as a concept. Focus crystals to enhance magic has been a major design of High Loma, especially around the Bay of Progress. But You probably just know their existence, not really their functionality or the kind of greater concepts of them.
Okay.
Oh boy. And it was just Lester and Kerbal that were on the stage, seemingly. Like they were going to present it.
Yep.
Seem potentially maybe they are the people behind it. Okay. I hate that.
Are there oh shoot, what's the name of the Merc Guild?
Sentient Arms.
Sentient
The
arms.
sentient arms, yeah.
Are any of them here?
Or a perception check.
Okay.
Ooh, fuck. Are they like in the crowd?
I'll
I'd be scanning for that too, for sure.
Yeah, go
I'll
for
be
it.
looking for
20.
that.
If we saw what's his ass up there?
Another
Nat
nat
one.
one.
Dude, now
God,
one.
guys.
Carlisle's having another bad day.
Bro.
Me too.
I mean, it makes
He is
sense with the
too.
stress of recently. Maybe if he and Carlisle have kind of got that animosity between them at
Charlie
the moment.
Brown.
I think that
Potentially.
makes
This
so
whole
much sense for
situation.
Carlisle right now. Yeah.
Tack with a 20 though, yeah, you would see that they are two guards who are stood by the stage itself, and they were kind of almost guarding where Kobold was. Even though there's guards of the actual town itself, that wear like kind of the sigil. These look like they're wearing kind of chainmail and a mixture, but the special thing about them is they wear kind of almost colored belts. It's kind of almost like a violet-like belt, and you can see they've got weapons that they keep on display. The sheath is almost glass in the center and shows off kind of almost these like shining, slightly reddened blades. Two of them have swords.
How well
Okay.
guarded is the sheet and everything? Like, is it really
This
well
is
lit?
this
Are there,
is extremely well. This is like the top of the thing. So there's several guards with spears around. It's all lit. The stage has I would say cumulatively like maybe 20 guards who are kind of guarding around the stage and around the crystal area, along with various ones who are wandering in the crowd. Others, there's probably an extra like 10 who are shuffling people in. It seems to be where they've kind of condensed a bunch of their guards together. They're not really expecting trouble, but it's enough that they're making sure no one comes and fucks with them.
How far away are they from us? If we're like,
if you're stood
waiting
over to the
be
side,
seen
maybe
in?
50 feet off to the side. You're just off to the side of a crowd, and the crowd's all gathering, waiting.
Okay.
The way to picture the top floor of this place is kind of like governmental grounds where they've almost got like mown grass, like roads, almost like walkways that are very, very few people walking on. The occasional tree. It looks like a park almost, with only a few buildings up here. So you're off to the side, and you're kind of like you've just left, like going to the bar during a festival. It's kind of like, you can see it all going on.
I think Tack would turn to Indrasa, say, I'll be right back. Put their hood up and start walking towards them, pull the hood back, and they would be like a beautiful redheaded woman. And would try to sort of like accidentally knock into one of them.
Okay, by the ones on the stage, like by the stage.
If one of the sentient arms is like approachable,
You would need
if
to
there's
walk
someone that I could,
towards.
like-
So I'd imagine like this, right? I'll put you onto like a blank page, and kind of do a very beautiful artwork piece.
I was worried he was about to put us on a fucking real map, and I was like, oh, that's suspect.
Honestly, I should, even when I do have maps of that, I should do this to you anyway, so you never.
You should always do this.
You're never
for sure.
expect it. You,
keep us on our toes, man.
Yeah.
If the stage is like here, sorry, it's quite thin. Let me do large. I'll just do a black. You can all see, right? If the stage is like this, and the crystal is behind it, kind of poised in front. This is like a stage that's been made. You've got a series of crowd members, which I'll just do as like a red, all kind of gathered around here. And then guards are more like... you got like guards like here, all across the crowd area, right? All the way down. The sentient arm guys are both, and I put them in blue, they're by like the stairs leading up to where their lord just went down. So if there's like a staircase there.
Sorry, I'll let the rest of Tack's thing play out, but I have a second thing I'd like to do.
Yeah, that works.
Alongside this,
the way to picture it, they were there to guard Kerbal. Clearly, so they're stood over towards the staircase. So you'd be kind of wrapping around, going towards the
Where are
stage.
the rest of us in relation to that? Like
50
we're
feet to
over-
the left, like off.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys were moved away from the crowd to be left alone as they kind of condense it.
If we can't reach one of them with like a disguise or anything, we could use that lens of sense extension that we just got to listen in on something that they might be saying.
Oh, holy
uh,
shit!
That's true.
Yeah, we can just
about
eavesdrop that
that.
way to at least the 2 mercenaries.
So I can only go in like the red square area, basically.
Subtly, you can do whatever you want. Normally, if you can find a way through, but you can slip into the red square if you just want to be part of the crowd. But they're
Like could I like meander like around this way?
You could totally do that as you kind of be in permission to push to the side. But the moment you start approaching, if you start approaching the stage, there will be an interaction. You can see that the guards are watching for that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I think Tack would be trying to see if there was a way to get over here and putting on kind of a doe-eyed expression, like just like super curious about what's going on, you know?
Yeah. If you start walking
whatever
closer,
I would need to roll to see if I could get like here-ish.
if you start walking closer at this point, unless you go stealthy, which we have a pretty high DC considering, but you can stealth in the kind of almost the element of the crowd that people are focused elsewhere. If you walk up there kind of nonchalant, you'd see a guard would walk over towards you. These guys are less about kind of crowd control, so one of the normal guards would step over towards you and go, sorry miss, this is the crowd's over that way actually. You've wandered too far around, you're gonna have to go around to the back.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I was just really curious. I don't know what's going on. What is this?
Oh, this is they're unveiling a crystal back there. If you just you can go and join the back of the crowd, they'll have more information at the front. Yes, it's an invention that's coming out.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. What kind of crystal?
I'm not too sure. I'm not privy to that information, ma'am. I'm just here to do crowd control. If you don't mind just moving back to the back of the audience back there, I'd be...
Okay, I'm so sorry. What about them? Do they know?
You see the sentient arms kind of look over now, and they're kind of...
sentient arms, guys.
Glaring over towards you. Those are with Master Kerbal, his personal bodyguard. Ma'am, again, if you will find out in due time, they've just delayed a little bit.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'll like back off.
Okay.
Hood up, a hood back, go back over to the group and be like, nah, I couldn't get close to them.
If I look at them, do I notice anything
In what regard?
different than some sign of fucking... I mean, I guess our answer is that they're probably all gonna be
You can perception check if you
like
like.
bad.
With sight.
My
Or an insight.
perception
You can do an insight.
sucks.
Insight would tell you the kind of
Both
general like
Suck.
expressions. Perception might see you any details on them.
I can't stop rolling 12s on perception today, so...
You make them out to be, they're both human. One looks in his kind of mid-30s, the other one looks in his kind of late 20s. One's bald, kind of a little bit of a beard. The other one looks clean-shaven, a little bit more handsome if it wasn't for his kind of like, his eyes were a little bit kind of sunken in there, a little bit dark around the bottom, like he doesn't get much rest. But they kind of look a little bit like they're just watching around the area, waiting for Kerbal to come back.
Okay. I mean, maybe we can just safely assume anyone who's in that garb carrying those swords is a risk. Probably.
Probably should.
The red sword. The red sword of rage. Okay.
Huh?
Is there anything behind the crystal?
Guards.
All of that?
There's guards
Like, is
that
it
kind of
just
wrapped
more
around
guards?
it. But it seems like that all the kind of parkway behind there is just occasionally you see people walking past, like nobles, anyone that's connected to being able to be up here on the top floor. They've condensed the crowd in this very kind of specific section. But there's guards that are definitely guarding from behind, making sure. Like maybe 3 guards on the back of it, just kind of stood there.
I'm very worried about that crystal.
Yeah.
You would be approached soon after by a messenger who wanders over, only a couple minutes on, and goes, "If you'd like to come with me, the council will see you now. They've been informed it is an urgent matter. We've called together as many of the council members that are here currently." And wanders over towards the council chambers, leading you in tow. If you follow along, you would eventually kind of get towards the council open doors, the wandering hallway where several guards are all kind of lined up there as well, all city guards here, and then eventually get into the council chambers where you'd see the disc shapes as the kind of hierarchical seats are in place. And you'd wander into that room with all of them kind of sat there looking down at you. At present, at this point of the council, is you've got Myrala is kind of sat in her seat. She's just getting seated by the time you get in. Lester looks a little bit frustrated. He sat down in the next seat. You've got Vaxa, the gold dragonborn. Leperoth Weiss, the kind of mustached gnome that you'd met back on the campsite before the big fight with the rhino creature. Crane Jill, the bald man that was in the Dread Vault with the graying lips. Bestemoth von Bara, the red tiefling with kind of vitiligo kind of patches. And then Kerbal, the sentient arms half-orc. It's missing 4 members of the council couldn't make it. Oshiak of 12 Wars Company, Yerek Yarsod, the priest, Elric Mankiller of Alemasters Guild, and Gracia El of the Broken Rock Society. I'll post you
Thank you.
a list of them. But otherwise, they are all they're all kind of gathered there, waiting for you as you're kind of introduced. The 6. And you wander into the council chamber. Myrala is the first to speak when you enter. She goes, the 6. It is a pleasure to see you again. However, we have been called because this is an urgent matter. We must remind you this is Creator's Cool Day, and we are about to unveil something quite grand for the city outside. What is it that irks you?
Thank you all for meeting us so suddenly. We come to you with very important information as to the safety of this city and the people in it.
So you kind of stare a little bit like curious now.
Tackle gesture for the automaton to come forward.
It floats in with you and kind of remains staring upward.
We were blessed with knowledge on how to meet with design personally.
You see, Leprechaun. You met with design.
Yes.
Preposterous. Vaxa kind of holds arms. The Sun Children are long missing. Thousands of years ago.
People go. They go to the cliffs of innovation to be granted with visions, dreams. They come from something. What's important is that design is aware of your city. He's aware of the pilgrimages, of the people who go to meet with him. He really does commune with them, and he wants to keep all of you safe. The city as it is an incredible feat, but it relies on a ley line that is diverted. It cannot hold the city up anymore.
You kind of murmurs among them. Cobalt scoffs. Besmoth rolls her eyes. Our city's been held up for many years. We have the greatest minds at work on this. It will hold. I don't know where you've got your information, or if this is some sort of veiled threat after what you have seen. The automaton...
It's not.
They are telling the truth. your city would need to fall. Or else disaster. Marala folds her arms. And what exactly is that thing?
This is an automaton sent with us by design. There are many more just like it, building a new city, an identical city, on the cliffs of innovation.
Roll a persuasion check. The DC is going to be different for each of the people on the council.
Okay. Here we go.
Can I do something,
Yeah?
Joe?
Yeah, what would you like to do?
While the conversation's happening, Morgane will step forward and say, in case you are hesitant about what we're saying, let no lies be spoken. I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, right on top of you guys.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll try and include them in it, so they can't.
How big is Zone of
bullshit
Truth? I think
us.
it's only small.
It's 15-foot radius.
Hmm.
How close would they be to us?
Yeah, so
I
how big
guess
is
some
this?
of them
You
might
won't
be
be able
too
to get.
high.
Yeah, because it kind of goes back. Imagine like my descriptive
Like
words.
an
are gonna be off tonight.
auditorium or something.
Yeah, it's like an auditorium. So it kind of goes back with the seats kind of lined up.
Okay, just us then.
So
Just us.
yeah, if you wanted to catch, you could probably catch the bottom of them in it, but
It might read kind of aggro if we're like all of you
also
tell
that.
the truth too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as we'd like them to.
I think I would cast it so it's like kind of just tack right now, and if we wanted to step into it, we could.
Smart.
Does that count as helping me with this
That would.
persuasion check?
Okay. But first,
Nice.
as before you roll the persuasion, you can see as I kind of get a lot of gospel about the casting of a spell, and Myrana would kind of speak. I'd remind you to ask before you cast a spell in our chambers. What exactly is that spell?
Zone of Truth. Here, feel free to test it yourself.
You see Behemoth kind of tilts her head. It would seem to be that spell, yes. They are incapable of lying if the magic gets through to them. So, speak your truth again.
I repeat everything.
Okay. You can roll a persuasion check with advantage. The DCs have definitely lowered. People are stubborn. People don't always understand magic, and there's also a chance that you can succeed the saving throw in a Zone of Truth, but it's going to drop the DCs by a fair chunk, especially for those who are on the fence.
Okay, so 22.
I'll make it a 30.
Oh, yes!
Okay.
Team.
Let's go.
You see everyone is kind of confused, talking, like muttering between themselves. Some keep silent, staring, kind of squinting their eyes. Others are kind of a little bit more like worried, kind of like almost running their hands across their face or kind of tapping their fingers a little bit. Myrana kind of sits rather calmly and kind of folds her arms. Then let's focus on something very particular there. You have just met a sun child, confirming their existence is still in our world. A being that created one of the great houses. You come with a dangerous notion of disaster. There is one thing, though, that you technically wouldn't have been able to say. It's not necessarily the truth. The town is not necessarily going to collapse. It would need to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
To free the.
Yes.
Did I?
Yeah. So like we have to collapse it so that the ley line is freed and can snap back to where it needs
So
to
I'd
go.
ask, do you say the words that it needs to collapse and make the charisma save?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I think you said not verbatim that it's the ley line.
I said that the ley line cannot continue to hold the city, right?
Yeah, or else terrible disaster, which I think is true.
That's technically true. Yeah, you're up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think Tack would say, we're not telling you how to convince the people of this city to go to a new city.
My dear, of course not. We don't leave our city behind. How do we fix this?
Well, you have the opportunity to create the same city with any improvements you deign.
It's under construction at the moment.
You can send for confirmation if you want.
I likely speak to everyone else here, but Warmsteps has survived some great things, including more than one guild war. Moving an entire city comes with problems, expense. Who exactly is going to be paying for this? Is it us? Sometimes the best solution is not the most expensive one.
Has Warmsteps survived collapse? Has it survived completely falling? Has everybody survived that in all of its trials and tribulations?
No. But I
Do you think it would?
apologize, Lady Indrasa. The solution you have gone to is drastic. Perhaps we can put lesser coin towards finding a solution so it does not collapse. What exactly is causing it to collapse?
Telepathically, we can speak to each other, remember, as well. Everyone. I don't have anything to say.
I mean,
Could we just... It's not a lie to say that design doesn't want the ley line split anymore.
I mean, we can also just say, like, hey, if you believe in the existence of the Sunchild, because we're not lying, then you should probably accept that the reverse of the coin also exists.
Wasn't the disaster being rage getting
rage
empowered?
I mean, we
Yeah.
can tell them.
And by the city not moving, you're
Hey,
inviting
Morala.
disaster.
We saw
the reason that
Tyrannus.
we've been worried
we
about
should bring up Tyrannus.
Like,
oh my god.
we talked to Tyrannus. That dude, we know he wasn't dead. You guys probably know he wasn't dead. He was infected by rage. Do you remember how? Yeah.
Corpse.
Do you remember how you told us? But do you remember how we needed to go below the city to try to stop sabotage on the city?
Mm-hmm.
That was rage. Like, we could try that. And then again, right? Failing all else, like, it's gonna move.
Yeah, I mean, the concern of our full transparency was that we were going to cause the incident with the mercenaries and, like, the sentient weapons to speed up, right?
Expedite,
but if the side effect of our concern for that is that we don't get any motion done in the reason that we're worried about them to begin with, then I think we need to be fully transparent.
We might.
Also, the fact they might just do that anyway.
Yeah, it seems like there's something that's going to happen regardless.
And if we want to try to give a warning about the sentient arms, it would have to be like BTW actual real rage, as like is behind. You know what I mean? It's like we'd have to give that part up anyway. So.
Yep.
Listen, I am still in the zone of truth. Confirm.
You see, Bestnoff nods ahead.
Design is currently containing rage. But the more that this ley line is split, the more that rage is able to seep out to affect people. We met Tyrannus at the Cliffs of Innovation. who I'm
Martha.
sure some of you knew was still there and was still alive. And he was
Malcolm raises a head.
consumed with rage.
I never thought he was alive. He died. Years ago.
He was alive. And he had been consumed by rage.
Who has the highest passive insight?
23.
Carlisle.
Probably
23?
Carlisle.
Yeah.
Where are you looking right now, Carl?
Probably Myrella, who's talking at the time, but his main focus when someone isn't talking has been at Kerbal.
Okay. I'm gonna get you to a check then. Give me an insight check.
I'm rolling really hot today, man. So
I believe
32.
Nice.
Well,
You're scanning faces. The moment you mentioned Tyrannus, Kerbal was shifting uncomfortably in his seat. So is Myrana.
Carlisle will flag that in
In the
telepathy.
Everyone's
In
a
the
little bit
brain,
confused by it
In the
because
brain.
it was a major member of the council, but Kerbal especially. He's uncomfortable.
Do they look like they are believing that it really was Tyrannus?
They believe that you're in a zone of truth and you're telling the truth about things. Mara leans forward and says, "Then I ask the question, and I ask it earnestly. These are creatures, and yes, we will have our religion here. But these are beings from a previous time. We've likely surpassed their creations. Need we
I
fear?"
pointedly look at the automaton with us.
would you like to examine
And look back
the
at
automaton
them.
down here? You're the greatest minds of the city, yes?
We should
Any
have
of
the
you down
automaton
here?
construct something just so they can see how it works.
It kind of scans you, scans everyone. I am available to demonstrate. You mortals have remained mediocre and advanced very little.
Would anyone on the council like something constructed?
That's so
Material is
scary.
irrelevant.
All right, relax.
That's
Bro.
so scary, dude.
Just makes a big middle finger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we would advance to fight back. You're asking us to move our entire town.
I'm asking you to obey one of the Sun Children.
I ask why. And you see, you see, like from the kind of one of the council members, you see Vax goes, "Lady Myrana is a sun child. We should, no. Why should we?
For the preservation of Warmsteps and everyone in it.
The alternative is
why.
death.
Councilmember Kerbal, could you please inform them exactly what was about to be unveiled?"
Oh boy, here we go.
He nods his head. "You need not fear for the defense of Warmsteps. As under our sentient arms, our architect has designed something which is able to defend the entirety of our town. With our amplifier, any armies or beings that attack us won't even need to meet in battle. We can amplify an immense amount of energy in their direction, casting vast spells at them without a single soul being lost. This device in itself is incredibly powerful." Myra leans forward. "What's to say it wouldn't destroy this rage?"
What's to say
What's to
it
say it
wasn't? Just as a in brain DMs, how do we know that rage is infecting sentient weapons?
V told
The
us.
Design
V
told us that.
V told us.
No, V told us.
Rage
V told us. Oh, that's
That
right.
Design's herald person who was influenced by rage then told V. Right? The person
I
inside.
think only
the
V heard
disciple.
this.
Rage.
Only
told
V
me,
heard that part.
right?
Yeah, but through the person, the lady.
With all due respect, we believe that the sentient arms are compromised.
Koa leans forward. What grounds? You see Crane Geo, he smiles at that point, kind of excited, and goes, No. A very, very broad accusation to make against them.
Question.
Does he have a sword like the red in the glass?
Who?
That's what I was going to ask too.
Kerbal. Does he have a sentient sword like the rest of them?
No, he's a great axe. But it's currently you can only see the handle peering out.
Interesting.
Are there any sentient weapons in this room that Morgaine can see?
What's your range on it? 30 feet?
It's 30 feet, yeah.
Kobold's weapon that you see the handle of is definitely glowing with a white
I'd like to make
magic.
sure that
Make sure it's
I'm
magical.
within 60 feet from him.
Yep, you're 60 feet. You guys are within about 30 feet. He's on one of the lower portions.
Okay.
Okay.
Kobold goes,
Are there any other guards in the room have them?
No. None of his sentient arms
Okay.
are around you. It's just standard guards of the council. Kobold, how dare you make such a claim? Mara also nods her head. A concern. I have vouched for you, Six. If you are to make a claim against the council, if this proves to be folly and a waste of time, which, of course, Master Kobold, I believe it will be, we will not tolerate it.
We wouldn't.
We
come
do
in
have
here
a
and
zone
say
of
things
truth up
idly.
at the moment.
Best
Master
of
Kerbal,
ahead.
would you like to come in?
They have a chance of lying in them. They're good enough.
Well, we would know if they attempted to lie. They could choose to fail.
She would know, and points towards Morgaine.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say to Kobold? Andrasa?
Who? I said, would he like to step in?
Next up, goes, I have no need to do this. Why am I being put to the test? This whole
If
thing
it's
seems to be
A
some
simple
sort of plot.
misunderstanding. It's getting mad.
You could step into the zone of truth and speak your truth plainly. Or you can let us look at your weapon.
Let them look at your weapon, not even us.
Are you inquisitors to come into our council chambers and demand of me? Me who has stood against forces that would have Warmsteps fall, collapse. Me who's gone to battle, fighting
You sound like
for
you're
every
quite
single. You do
enraged,
not
Master
speak over
Kerbal.
me. And the others are kind of looking down.
Is this usual?
Do the others look alarmed at all by his outburst?
Yeah.
You can roll an insight check.
I think Andrasa
like-
says, is
I'm
this
bad at
usual
this.
to the rest of them?
Carlisle's
23.
watching.
Yes and no. Yes, to an extent that he's fired up quickly, but also you can see they're all very annoyed at such an accusation. As in, you are a group have come in here, tell them to move their town, and then also accused one of their major defenders who's on their council. So they are kind of excusing the anger right now because they are. You've kind of come in with quite a broad expectation. So they're all just kind of scanning and looking to him. You would see as kind of Crane Geo goes, I, for one, think he should do it. And he's the only one who kind of leans back and smiles. And Kobo says, of course you do, you snake! I will not have my position on this council even remotely considered folly. I have shed blood for this council, for this city.
Well, Councilman, no one is saying that you have done anything in deliberation. Rage's influence cannot be understated. I would advise you all to perhaps witness what the automaton can do. I would advise you to speak to the servants of the Sunchild in person. See the speed and magnificence at which they can rebuild your city. Rebuild it in ways that you would like it improved. You speak of cost to move a city, but cost to improve a city is oftentimes greater.
What a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage.
Okay. 24.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
Pop off.
As you're doing it, the automaton of design goes, "We can show you." And its body kind of splits apart the kind of portions of kind of the glass that go to the bottom, and the light becomes an illusion, and it shows you the kind of like maybe 60 to 70 automatons that have already built 2 layers of the city by this point, completely working throughout the
Amazing.
clock, designing almost like these kind of slotting into place. And then as it forms back up, this is currently going to take a small amount of time, a few days, and the city will be redesigned. They will kind of like sit back and Marilyn nods her head and goes, "Oh, let us focus on one thing at a time then."
Your ability to influence the city as it's built would be now. And there's a good chance that by moving the city and sealing away rage, there is no impact on your weapons and your defenses.
I'll step into the zone of truth,
Mm-hmm.
but wait to see what they say to Morgaine.
Ira goes to speak, and then Lester leans forward, the younger gnome from the first smithing guild, and goes, "Oh, I." So often we are focused on the pricing of advancements, and we've probably fallen behind because of it. If what they're saying is true, then surely there is commerce and money to be made in a greater city? A city designed by a creature that is long gone, that has abandoned humanity? Mara looks down to him. Aye. But if everything they are saying is true, perhaps it is better to work in tandem with one who is known to create great, vast things. It's just a thought. Though we do have a concern here. Tyrannus died. How is he alive?
Well,
Mara's
he's not.
eyes would just kind of squint towards you.
He's...
Not anymore.
It was Tyrannus. And she starts to... I think first she says, "You thought he was dead and he's not. He was not. And that allowed rage to find a foothold in him. You know of heralds, of things like that, right? Tyrannus became the herald of rage. And we fought him. When he died,
I will say, just to
I
interrupt,
saw-
none of them nod their head when you say you know of heralds, as if they are confused by that concept.
okay. I think she sees that and she hesitates for a minute and sort of looks at everyone else like, do we explain what that is? Do we gloss over it? Sort of unsure in the moment.
If we're trying to sell a point, I think we're at the point where we need to be transparent of the exact, like the things that we are using to sell that point.
So
I think we need to explain what it is.
mortals can become a vessel for a sun child, for a child of a 3. Tyrannus became Rage's sort of instrument here on Hyloma. He was infused with rage. He was rage. Unbound, right? Unimprisoned. And I think I will start to narrate that he woke fearful. He saw a figure in the dark, symbol of the Cobblers Guild, I believe. The attacker was shrouded in darkness and he was stabbed with poison. I felt his heart stop. I saw him wake in his grave. Rage entered his mind. She helped him to his feet. He rested at the cliffs of innovation. Plans changed. He wanted to eradicate the town. He knew there was a presence in the cliff. He felt fury in his blood. He met someone you know, I believe, Farman. Jealous. He felt envious. He knew what Farman knew. He knew about the door. Do you know what he did then? He started crafting weapons, and he infused them with rage. Would I have seen a great axe as he was crafting those weapons? Was it just swords?
No, it was multiple types of weapons.
So I would describe exactly what they look like. Which I didn't write down because we didn't talk about it. But I would describe
Fused
that.
with red. They were magical items fused with red. They glow.
Fused with red. They glow, and I would nod towards Crubble's great axe.
His hand goes onto the hilt and he just holds it.
He was rage. He was governed by rage. It was him who had the plot to destroy Warmsteps. It was Tyrannus who created every weapon the sentient arms have right now. In this room, outside, wherever they are in Warmsteps, all of them are infused by rage in this moment.
I'd step into the zone of truth just to add something. Rage lies in wait to evoke these weapons. And when that happens, they will unleash their fury.
Myrella nods her head. Thinking. Can you roll a persuasion check, Andrasso? I'll give you advantage. You already had advantage, so I'll give you a +2 on top of it for the additional V help.
No, I would just have regular, wouldn't I?
No. Advantage because you're in the zone of truth. +2
right.
because of V's aid.
While you do that, we don't
Nat
know
20?
who the...
Nat
Ooh,
20!
fuck yeah!
With the details you've given, you can see the kind of the clarity comes across all of their faces, and some of them are worried and whatnot. Kerbal's goes, "This is ridiculous. I remind you all again, we have shed blood for you." And then Lester kind of speaks, goes, but in fairness, it's not entirely our decision to make. We are council working under the word of a lord, or a lady in this regard. A house Spectre. Should she not be present for this? Vaxa says, you wish to disturb the lady? She has not been out of her home in some time. But this is a matter of moving the entire city. I think this is the scenario she'd be like to be present for. Councilman Jill, is she... How is her health? She worsens by the day, but I'm sure she is quite available, if such a claim is to be true. And he's kind of glaring down towards Kerbal, smirk on his lips. Kerbal says, I'm to be judged by a council of my own peers? By the lady that I have shed blood for? I said, oh yes, Councilman Kerbal. Because if you were in fact truthful, they would be chastised. Would they not? Send for the lady. Myrella kind of keeps silent the whole time, her hands folded. Such is protocol. Very well. Send for our lady.
We burned this bridge, dude.
I
He hates us.
I think Andrasa pushed her luck with that persuasion, and she knows it. So I think she says via the telepathic bond, would it not be prudent for them to also round up the sentient arms so that they are all contained? If what we are saying is true, If what we are saying is false, then there was no harm done and they just moved round a bit from a different floor.
Are you saying this telepathically?
Yeah.
Good counsel, it's not to say that these the concept of these weapons is not great. And I believe with design's help, easily replicated in an uncorrupted manner.
Marilla speaks for the council. Then we shall wait upon Our Lady and undergo this unconventional zone if she wills it. And what we do next will be appropriate.
Who designed the crystal you were unveiling today?
The Sentient Arms Guild. They're a mercenary band. They have a designer among them.
What is the...
Yes, which designer? It's one person's sole work. Is it collaborative?
I see what's going on here. Kobold looks at...
What does it look like?
The Sentient Arms will not reveal their founders.
What does
Our
the crystal
secrets
look
are
like?
ours alone.
Everyone will see what it
That's
looks
suspicious.
like in moments. What does it look like?
Lester kind of
glow?
nods. It's a large crystal. It is an amplified. It, I believe it draws upon the ley line. And as far as it has, is that right, Kerbal? Yes. Indeed.
What color is it?
So yet
Sorry,
another
you go
thing
ahead.
pulling power from the ley line. Yet another thing that would allow rage to influence more people.
The This goes, oh, it's pale white, see-through, transparent, unless it's activated, but we haven't activated it yet. No.
You've not seen it. You've not seen it work.
No,
You
it's
don't
not-
know if it works.
Today is the demonstration. You have interrupted the demonstration, unfortunately.
Oh my
but
god.
Or fortunately,
So in
depending
theory,
on what it does.
what color would it glow if it is amplifying? Dear.
it would, in theory, glow whatever color the magic it's producing is. So dependent. Evocation would be a strong red, etc., etc. It draws upon the ley line. It collects that and turns it into greater spells.
Didn't build a smaller one to test it. You just went ahead straight to the big one.
Cowell
that could
slams his
level
fist
a
on the table and
city.
goes, "Do not presume to know you know about design."
I know about theory and about testing things, about hypotheses and
Myrella puts her hand up.
research.
We've done this right long enough, haven't we? You have spoken. We are waiting. Your words are poison if you continue them. Poison for your cause. You get to come here and you get to warn us. You get to come here and you get to aid in this. You do not come here and continue to insult the methods of those council members. Now, if your accusations are proven true, then perhaps those insults are warranted. But until they are, you are currently only digging yourself a deeper hole. If, in fact, you have considered lying at this point, your lies will be folly. Because at this point, you've accused a council member of some vast dangers. You have tried to make our town move. And quite frankly, you have disrupted a very important day. Now, I vouch for you as a member of this council. It is clear by my actions right now, my words right now, and let me be vastly clear that I will continue to do so no longer, regardless of what happens here. You have come to us with some very warranted words, some very convincing words. But do not think for a second you have spoken as nobility. You have spoken like the adventurers you are. You can see her face is flustered with anger. Greed. The council will kind of go
Is it-
quiet.
I'm not good at these, but what does the rest of the council look like? Do they look like they're getting similarly ramped up?
Yeah,
like
does it
maybe
look
they're
like
getting
there's
enraged?
2 people who are losing their minds and everybody
Yeah,
else is
like-
fine?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if is there a ripple effect out from Kerbal where people are getting more and more mad, or is it
You
just
can do an
everyone's
insight
getting?
check.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not great at those. Sorry, guys.
As a general scan, if you want to focus on, here's what I'm going to say: the DC is much higher when you're scanning 8 people. If you're specifically looking at someone, it's going to be lower.
Sure. I would like to. I think we know that Morale is stressed out, and we know that Kerbal is stressed out, and he's kind of lower, right? We know that Gio's happy that Kerbal is having shit talked about him. So I think, I don't know. It doesn't sound like Vaxa has said anything. Can I check them out?
Yeah, you can focus on Vaxa.
All right, I only got a 17.
It's enough to kind of think. You did learn when you first came to the city that there's been more anger in the air. So there's genuinely an air of animosity in general. However, regardless if your words are true, you can see that you've caused frustration in the council. It might be the way in the tact you've done it, but Vaxa also looks a little bit perturbed, though she looks more worried, a little bit more scared, like everything's about to change up. She's also extremely nervous. Like she's kind of almost counting in her head, kind of nodding her head, trying to follow along, a little confused.
I would relay that.
Telepathically. Actually, we should probably resolve this first. We should agree to just shut up, probably for a little bit.
I think
We're pushing our luck, I think.
We'll just brain DM for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Kerbal and Myrella looked unsettled when we said Tyrannus was alive. So
Myrella, possibly because she's the one who found him dead, right?
So Tyrannus was buried in a shallow grave. It's super convenient that Rage then came to him, chose him, and he started crafting weapons that then Kerbal started using. Do we think Kerbal put him in the shallow grave knowing that this would happen? Possessed by rage to do so? And that's why he's I don't know, his reaction might be
I think a shallow grave typically is it meant that person had disdain for you. They didn't care about you enough to dig you a proper grave.
True, but is it also it's easy for him to get out? So, because they knew he was going to come back. I mean, it seems like such a weird, convenient coincidence that this guy that's killed off then starts manufacturing mass weapons for them to use.
But
it might be it happened to Tyrannus first before it happened to
Didn't he also keep himself inconspicuous though once he returned?
He did, yeah. He wasn't trying to be identified.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sure.
They might not have even known it was him at the time.
I don't think they knew, but it seems just like Rage is playing with puppets, I guess. It's like a big plan. Do you know what I mean? It's very convenient that it all worked out this way for Rage.
Yeah, for sure. He's just preying on their greed, isn't he, really?
If you're all talking in your
It
heads...
sucked. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I was just gonna say, I was hoping so hard to be able to touch somebody that we thought was
try to
affected by rage,
appeal.
to see if there was an immediate thing that I could detect about a person who's affected by rage, but didn't work.
Yeah.
Whilst you're all talking in your heads, the automaton design would say, I appreciate the silence. However, I would like to have a look at this amplifier, as you called it.
Oh, that's a great idea. Holy shit.
Okay, buddy, just go roll on out there and float out there and try to see if you can look.
You see...
I doubt they're gonna let it do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Lester kind of narrows his eyes and goes, this feels very strange, but I'm afraid... design? your greatness. There's procedure to that. There's a crowd waiting. We'd have to disperse them. If you could be a little patient.
What
And
if,
kind of just like gleams up towards him.
what if you just disguised it? What if you just looked like something else as you walked out? Take a peek under the giant sheet.
If you just don't mind just a little patience. In fact, of course, as my other fellow council members have informed you, this is not the way we usually do bureaucracy. Let us just calm for a moment, if you would. He kind of sits back, a little awkward by it. But you can see the whole kind of tables all kind of glaring. They start kind of whispering, talking between each other, waiting.
Is anybody pointedly not talking to anyone on the council?
Carbol's not talking to
Or are
him.
they all...
He's running his thumb rather hard over the hilt of the axe. Do you wait for the... Do you say anything more before waiting?
We're just gonna get yelled at. I don't think talking will do us.
Yeah, let's keep
any
getting
good.
them, guys.
Maybe we should rally the crowd if it comes to it. Like, fuck.
Rile them up.
I mean, well, yeah, it's like give them a chance to at least get out of the fucking city. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
right? Like,
If
'cause
they're like,
if
you
the
know what,
council needs
actually,
to die,
fuck
they need
you.
to die.
Yeah.
But like the innocent people, like, yeah.
In
The...
hindsight,
everybody in
I was so
picture.
close to being like, you know what, I'll hang out outside
Yeah, you should have
rather
really...
than all of us go into this enclosed council
Right.
chamber where now no one
Yeah.
can leave.
Oof. True. Ah.
You would wait a little while before, as the doors come through, you see a couple of guards step forward and step to the side as a guard starts wheeling in a wheelchair, on kind of like wooden wheels. You see this kind of quite elderly lady, probably in her probably only in her 70s, but she looks closer to 90. She looks very kind of gaunt and tired. Her eyes are extremely sunken. Looks rather sick. Very sick. Her eyes kind of nod off, but she keeps like opening them. Like she's constantly on the verge of falling asleep. And she's wheeled in by a guard. And then you hear... And walking behind her, about 12 and a half feet tall, is this massive iron automaton with 4 arms. Each kind of has like blades kind of coming down them. It's got the symbol of the house kind of embedded into it. It walks behind her as a bodyguard. She gets wheeled over to one side. The whole council stands up when she enters into the room. The kind of announcer steps forward. Lady Larian Spectu, the Council of Warmsteps, steps aside. And this big iron kind of creation steps behind her and just waits there. The guard steps away from her. And she kind of leans forward. You see one of her kind of nursemaids comes up to beside her and gives her this like small kind of concoction. She drinks it back.
Hello, my dears. I have been summoned to the council to discuss a matter of a council member. And I have been summoned to discuss our great town is on the verge of collapse. If you would...
You can see there's a person that kind of almost takes like the minutes of the council, who's over to the side and is kind of like writing it down.
I may have seen the current discussion. I'll read over it.
And it's brought over to her, given to her, and she kind of reads through. The whole council sits, and they're all in kind of like a very respectful silence, but there's like almost this kind of frustration in the air. She takes her time with it. You can see even when she gets to the back, she goes back to the front again. And it goes back to kind of reading it through twice. It takes a good maybe 15 or so minutes before she's done. And she slows down a couple of times and then places it onto the kind of, there's like almost a side panel on her wheelchair and folds her hands on her lap.
We I appreciate you and your aid to our town. I apologize I have not met you thus far. 6. I also apologize I am not familiar with your exploits. Though, as everything seems to be in order, I am now made aware that you are looking out for the betterment of the town. Which of your issues is the most pressing currently? I would adhere to the accusation towards a council member. Am I correct?
Yeah. Or above board. The crystal is probably the most pressing thing. If they turn that shit on, it's all gonna fucking go, right? So.
Yes, my lady.
Alex says, "My lady, we can...
Council members, I would like to speak with them.
I like her already. Oh my god.
The crystal. You may have the crowd disperse. Send them back down. Tell them it is currently delayed. For the safety of everyone. And then allow the automaton that was sent by His Greatness to examine it.
Thank you, my lady.
Of course. You can see Kerbal kind of stands up and says, "My lady." And he holds his axe, lifts it very slightly, like almost like he can't let go. And he goes, "I have shed blood for your city. With all due respect, this council has kept this entire place alive." She turns her head.
Then surely the truth should not be an issue. If this is a small matter, as Lady Council Member Myrada correctly said, this group would be punished accordingly. It's just a small bit of bureaucracy. You should be used to it by now, Council Member.
There's a moment where you can hear the crowd dispersing, people kind of distantly getting quieter. And a guard kind of steps in, a couple of them nod their heads, and the automaton of design goes with them. Does anyone go out with them?
Yeah, if we can, I would.
Yeah.
It's more like, are they permitting us to go?
Yeah,
I feel like someone
wouldn't stop you as a singular unit of like a couple of you going necessarily.
I would stay.
Someone should always have, eyes on Kerbal, but I also would want to go just so I can see what the crystal looks like in case I can do an Arcana check or something.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to see it.
Yeah, I'll stay.
Yeah.
A team and B team.
So A team, if you want to go out and you see the crystal, you can see this moment where the kind of guards walk over with them. Lester would also come down and join them. Kerbal not kind of permitted. There's almost this kind of like stage of this if something goes wrong. Lester wanders out with them as well. You would notice Indrussa and whoever's with you as they kind of pull back. Is it Desmond and as well? They pull back.
Yeah, Morgane will go too.
I'd stay
you'd see this
inside
great
with
kind of
Tech and Carl.
transparent crystal that is floating on a kind of a platform at the moment. And Design kind of wanders around it, circling it a series of times before kind of coming back over towards you. And Lester kind of nods his head. You can do an Arcana check if you like.
Get it, lads.
Ooh, 27.
Ooh, damn.
17.
Yum yum.
17 would tell you this is some sort of like arcane crystal that will amplify magic based on its name and whatnot, and you can kind of get the general idea that that's of course what it does. Desmond, you kind of start coming to the same conclusion that Design starts saying aloud, and you get this before he does, or at least along the same time. You recognize as he's saying it. I'll type it to you as well. He kind of analyzes it for a moment.
I'm scared.
And
Oh.
Design starts going, interesting. A problem.
This thing's gonna draw the whole ley line.
We have to stop it. How do we
It is not currently
disable it?
placed. If it were to be placed inside of the ley line within this town,
Can we destroy it? So it can't be placed?
this could be done.
What's Lester doing?
He kind of folds his arms and goes, what exactly would be the problem of it drawing the ley line away? Isn't that the function of the design? It will allow us...
Are you
The
stupid?
vault itself would
No,
be
the
exposed, vulnerable.
Not only that, but wouldn't
rage is out.
It would
Rage would be
free
released.
rage
Rage.
immediately.
Is out.
But it only turns on
the
for a
city
minute.
come
And
falling
the city
down
would fall.
too?
No.
No.
It's
No?
the
Okay.
ley lines currently goes through the vault, with a portion
Yeah.
of it coming off towards the city. This would divert it entirely to the
This would
city.
stop it.
So it would mean no magic goes to the
okay.
vault. Yeah.
To the crystal, not solely
Gonna
to the
be-
crystal, but the
yeah.
city and
It would free rage basically when
Yeah,
they,
yeah,
if
yeah.
they
yeah.
because
That
it's not
part's
going to the
bad.
vault
I just thought
anymore.
you meant it would
Yeah.
go entirely
they
just
wouldn't
to
be
the
that.
crystal.
Into the
Le-
crystal.
like,
Oh,
Lester kind of
fuck,
shakes his head and
yeah.
says, but it's only for 1 minute. I mean,
Master Renrich, imagine if you will write that you're in prison. Okay? You're stuck in a cell. The bars drop. The door opens. Do you think it takes you a full 60 seconds to walk out? Dear, it wouldn't.
a fair bloody point. All right.
If this turns on for even a moment, it is catastrophic, Master Renrich. We cannot let that happen. Is there a fit? How does it turn on? Can we disable that at least so that
It would be implemented into the actual ley line itself. It would take a whole time to move it over there.
How long does it take to move it?
Well, I mean, to wheel it over there, to have it fitted in, I mean, it would take a good 30 minutes, probably.
30 minutes. All right.
We were going to
What
use
do
it
you mean,
against the
people.
incursion that is likely occurring. That can be explained when we get inside. But it's good information, but I can't... I must apologize. I am trying to do my best here as a respect to your group, but you are asking too
Of
much of me
course.
as a singular council member. If I overstep my welcome, I fear Lady is
Of course,
expect you will let me know. If you don't mind, he kind of wanders back inside and goes, can we get more guards around it, please? None of the sentient arms. And he kind of wanders past them, and you see several more guards go around to stand around the
Is it
crystal.
still just the same two sentient arms?
They would have
Are
been
there
sent
more
away.
of them? They would have been sent away.
Good.
Okay, so there's none.
No.
of
Near
them.
it.
All right.
God.
It's surrounded by about 12 guards that are just kind of stood around in circles.
12.
But they'd bring you inside. Bear in mind, Warmsteps is not a military town. It doesn't have a big army. They wander inside and kind of enter back into the council chambers. Design almost kind of allows Desmond to speak instead of kind of taking over, just like almost sees you as almost a consultant and kind of pulls that around. Lady Spectre goes,
And what was deduced?
Well, as it is right now, this town sort of draws from the ley line, correct?
If I understand the functionality, yes.
If this crystal were to be activated, it would fully go to this town. The ley line would not be just split, it would be fully diverted here.
Yes.
The other way that it goes is to the Vault of Design. And as it stands right now, Rage itself is currently being held there. Now imagine what would happen if there was no power to contain Rage.
who designed the crystal? Lady Spectre kind of turns her
What's
head.
that, Kerbal?
Cobbles grits his teeth. Our architect. You can't possibly ask me to give up answers that would... We have rights to our secrecies on how our designs and patterns are made. Lady Spectre says,
That is true. However, you can always speak to judicial forces and complain to them after you step into that zone. And tell the truth, my dear.
And you see Cole kind of grits his teeth, lifts up, places his axe onto the table in front of him. And you see guards kind of like look around a little confused. The iron thing behind, just the blades slowly extend outwards. And the councilman's kind of lean back and they're just a little confused. And he kind of stands and goes, very well. And he walks, holding the axe still, around his desk.
I would leave that behind.
And he looks down at it, not really realizing he was holding it still. And lets go.
Is there anyone between him and this woman in the wheelchair? As he walks,
a
do you know
couple
what I mean?
of
Like, well, okay.
But she has a massive island going right behind her, like
Yeah,
shooting
no, I know.
Yeah.
over.
But he's got rage, man. He don't care.
He walks around and steps into the zone.
Did he put the axe down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do we know if he fails that zone of truth?
Morgan.
Morgan would know.
Yeah.
Check?
Yeah, he stepped into there. He failed the saving throw. He is currently affected by the zone of truth.
I assume the council is going to conduct the questions.
Morgaine will turn and nod to the council like it was effective.
Myra nods head. Councilman, and then Lady Figure.
I apologize again. They have brought us the information. Let them ask the questions.
I love her.
Do you think she's healthy enough to travel in a floating camp?
I know. Can we take her with
Yeah.
us?
We could use a
New
lady.
grandma. Yeah.
Okay. Brain DM. Do we just want to have our very first question be who is
Who's-
your architect?
Yeah.
let's go.
He dodged it
Ask
so
that
hard.
first
Also,
when I
sort of
asked.
interpose one of us
I
between them just in
don't know if
case.
they'll let
That's
us
what I was
ask that
thinking,
question is the problem. Because it's
They
a pattern.
didn't.
Well,
They didn't
yeah.
object to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
if they
lady
didn't
just
object,
allowed
it's
us
We're
to
fine.
do
kind
it.
of being given free reign to.
Yeah,
I
do
think
as
we
will.
asked.
Lady
Who's
literally
the
was like, "You're
architect?
gonna go to jail. Answer the
What's
fucking
your
question."
what's your what's your plan? What's your secret code word that turns all of you on? Right?
What's your
Activation phrase. Go.
yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sleeper agent.
But spell it so that you don't say it and then activate everyone.
Yeah.
Can I ready an action this whole time too? Ready a vortex warp to warp him away if he lunges.
Ooh.
at
Tries anything.
anyone?
That's
Yeah,
so
I was
smart.
gonna ready a hold person.
Sure.
That too.
Beautiful.
You can both do that. Yeah.
Yeah, once he's in the zone
Mhm.
and everybody's like, all right, it's working, Tack will ask, since it is the question on everyone's mind, who is your architect?
He just glares at you.
Keep in mind, this person has
answer.
committed treason against this town, potentially, allegedly, to the rest of the council.
Save.
He stares silently.
You touch him, she says via DM, brain DM.
Ooh.
I'm worried that man's gonna chop my whole ass arm off.
Councilman Kerbal. A refusal to answer any of the questions will be an admittance of guilt. And will be met with the highest form of authority. However, this council does have a duty to be merciful in this scenario. We will not inform you how merciful we plan to be, only that we will not be if you refuse.
You can see him kind of eye your group. I guess.
My lady?
Architect Tyrannus, who Lady Myrella had killed.
Drassa just goes like this.
Oh, fuck! We
You
finally
see, he
get
kind of throws
Ghelfi
fire back
out,
towards her, and
man.
she goes. Lady Spectre looks up at her and she goes. And he nods his head. A small smirk on his mouth for a second before he goes back to his kind of annoyance. As if to
It's
say,
like I'm taking this bitch down with me.
Good for him, right? Like, go for it.
Get him.
Honestly.
Yeah, get him. Cook, dude.
He looks to you for more questions.
Brain DM. I mean,
How do
if he knows Tyrannus was the architect, then I'm just curious how all this unfolded. Like, I want to know, did Rage come to Tyrannus first? Did Rage go to Kerbal first? Like, I mean, I don't think Kerbal's aware that he's affected by Rage. I guess Tyrannus
maybe-
wasn't really either, but...
Maybe we ask, how long have you known Tyrannus was alive?
Yeah, that's a good question, I think.
How long were you aware that Tyrannus was alive?
He came to me a few years ago as a secret benefactor when we were a smaller mercenary company. And with his designs, we were able to have weapons that could enforce our military might a lot better. And we built a pretty strong company out of it. He was our blacksmith, our designer. He helped build our weapons, build our name. And with that, we were given a position on the council for our utmost duty to the town.
Have
I
your
will
weapons
say-
always been... Sorry.
No, go for your question.
I was going to ask if your weapons have always been enchanted, and if so, has the enchantment changed recently?
Enchantment has not changed. Though we were informed by the architect Tyrannus that our weapons contained the spirits of fallen warriors and those who have passed, and that they would guide us in battle and help us.
Aw,
Yeah, because I saw him make them, right? So
that's sad.
he made them from the start like that.
Yeah. It's sad that they were led to believe that.
Is there... What did you think was going to happen when the crystal was moved into place? What did Tyrannus tell you?
Have mercy on me, my lady. The architect put together a plan where he had hired thugs, bandits, the bullet, other ilk. And you see Crane go, "Ha! I knew it!" And the kind of some glares go up towards him. He grits his hand. It was to be my duty to demonstrate the crystal. He convinced them to attack the town. They are preparing their attack to come in the coming days. We were going to demonstrate the crystal by wiping out their armies in an immediate flash. With that, I would be given greater prospects and power to bring about the demise of Councilman Myrana and replace them.
Oh.
Master Kerbal, you're answering these questions quite a bit more calmly than you were before. Do you feel any different since you put your axe down?
I have a lot of shame. It was not my intention to put the town in to harm's way. It was my intention to... I understand some had to die. To create a plausible threat that these bandits could do something to the town. So that we might demonstrate a power that was greater, that would put Warmsteps in a position where was once not military might. We were mocked for it. A town only known for its defense, we could have something that would show that we are truly one of the strongest. And to do so, came at the expense of some lives in the most vulnerable section of our town.
So you were unaware that Tyrannus hated this city, hated this council, wanted the city to fall apart.
I was aware that he hated one.
Okay.
Most of his conversation was about her. He wished to see her downfall, and I was happy to oblige.
Councilman, a final question, if you will. Were you aware of Tyrannus' hatred for this council and this city, and his goal to destroy it? Something he confidently shared with us before he attacked it.
We just asked that.
Shit.
That's all right. I actually had another question, so we could move on.
He just squints and walks.
Who stole my question?
You typed it in chat like you wanted one of us to ask it.
Mother of God.
What the fuck?
Rewind.
But why male models?
Dude.
Oh, dude.
That's right. Just walk away, man.
Dreamer psychosis, dude. Jesus.
Take a fucking lap, man. That's
Oh,
crazy.
shit. Okay. Oh.
Now we gotta wait for it because he's gonna miss the next question. He's gonna come in and ask it again.
Oh my god.
All right,
Scold,
okay.
you're not here right now.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Do you want me to ask my question?
You can ask your question.
Yes.
All right. Your weapons. What are their enhanced capabilities? What can they do that other weapons cannot?
You're empowered, you're a little quicker, a little stronger, take a little bit more damage. Like you don't feel the pain that hits you. Thrust faster, stronger. Empowered by those who came before. Well, I suppose that was what we thought.
And how many of you are there
86.
in total? 86.
Oh, fuck me, dude. That's crazy.
That's enough to take out a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage real fast.
I recognize what we did was reckless, but it was not. We had the city in mind.
And you were... Sorry. The plan was to unveil the defensive crystal today, but you were waiting for the Boulette's attack, which would be in a few days hence, and then you would have hit them with the crystal and run out to mop up anything that was left?
If there was any stragglers, yes. We'd be held as the heroes of the town. They have an army of maybe 200 to 300 waiting on the borders. It's not enough to take the entire town, but it would have been enough to cut off all of our trade, kill hundreds, if not thousands.
Do you know
So-
where they are?
I'm aware of their positions and their encampments. I'm aware of where
You
the
tell
bullet
us.
is. I was meant to send a messenger to tell him that we were prepared once the crystal was ready. He believed that
I
we were
think-
going to betray from the inside.
I think in everyone's head, Indrasa would say, well, perhaps we've got a bit of time, and they weren't planning on doing anything today, right? Because they were going to wait. And so we might not have an imminent sort of 86-fold destruction on our hands right now, right? It should be enough time
Stop
for
the
them
crystal
to...
demonstration, and that was the pressing matter.
Right.
Mm.
And then it sounds like we'll need to perhaps deal with the bullet, I suppose.
We have a couple of nights. If he's not heard from in a couple of nights, he will just attack anyway. He's not
What's Morala doing during all of this?
staying silent, watching.
That one was scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just got outed for murder, and it's just calm.
And it's just, yeah, it hasn't
Like,
said
just
anything,
chilling.
bro.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
If I'm given the permission to, I will order that all of the sentient arms are removed and we are disbanded. And I'll take any punishment that comes my way.
I kind of feel bad for this guy because he's, I mean, they're all just victims of a.
Yeah, who knows
of
how much of this is
rage.
just rage?
Exactly.
Well, that's why,
We don't
that's
know.
like what I said, right? Is he's answering these questions much more
Mhm.
calmly
Now that he's
than
away
when
from
he
his
had,
weapon.
Mhm.
right? I wonder. Kind of looks at Design's automaton and then Desmond as well. Is it a smart idea to not have? Should we have automatons gather the weapons? Maybe not. Those with emotions easily swayed. I don't know how quickly that it works, right?
The design goes, this would be an ideal scenario. It is likely that if Rage notices something is going on, the being will activate them sooner rather than later.
Tack will look to the lovely lady in the wheelchair. Will you give us permission or any automatons that you trust to gather up the weapons from the sentient arms?
She nods her head.
Should test that it works first, right? Can I maybe approach the weapon on the floor if that's okay?
You may.
I'm gonna try touching it. All right.
Yeah?
I'm gonna lay my hand on his axe.
Okay. You would feel nothing.
Okay. I think that is
Should
a good
I
call.
try?
No.
No,
No.
you definitely should not try.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right, guys, fine.
Okay.
Well, if that sort of solves that, what about the rest?
The city at large, you mean?
Yes. Looks at lady in wheelchair.
Yeah, looks at lady, right?
Could you repeat that, sorry? She...
What about
Yeah.
the rest of the, like, what about the city moving and all that?
She folds her arms.
And this place that you are wanting to move us to, it is a replica.
Yes.
But all the buildings...
Sort of an improved one, too. Design himself has a hand in it.
Is it a danger if we are over and closer to this being?
When the ley line isn't diverted, rage is contained fully. But as it is now, it's not strong enough to hold it. So though you will be closer, there will be no leaks. When we first came to this city, one of the very first tasks that we were given was to keep the system that diverted the ley line from being compromised. You will never have to worry about that again. There will be nothing that can be turned off, tampered with. It is safer.
The automaton also turns and says, mortals would be entrusted over the protection of the ley line from above, and as a result, design would be willing to aid in the evolution of your people, as it once did so long ago. The diversion of the ley line was a mishap. It is time to be reverted. You will be rewarded for this. That you'd see across the council almost kind of creates more of an intrigue. Like some of the more greedy ones kind of sit back and go, like nod their heads. Vaxa, and the expense to move everything, Lady Spectre says, nods her head, is an investment. My late husband, Lord Ryber, I was never born into nobility. I invented a bathtub that could warm itself, warm the water, keep it at a good temperature. My husband loved it so much that he would have constant burns from the amount of time he spent by it. More baths a day than any man I've ever met. And I think he did a lot of that for the love of me, as opposed to the love of the creation. He loved living in a town where innovation was put first. A town where advancements were the key, not commerce. Now, it is true, gold is necessary usually for these advancements, so it is natural that this town has fallen into such a place. And with my sickness, I'm afraid I'm not able to help as much as I could. But perhaps this is a nice step in the direction of focusing on what truly Warmsteps was built upon. Innovation. The late Tyrannus was a troubled man in his last moments, but in his earliest, he brought many forms of wisdom to our town. Let us try and resemble that, more so than whatever anger has been created since his demise, and since we selfishly focus too much on the growth of our pockets instead of the growth of our minds. Prepare for the evacuation, and allow the people to realize that they will be given more space, more land. We'll provide them monetary gain for such an ordeal. And we'll try to find the good in this extraordinary, saddened event. If we would give our town some time, we can prepare over the next few days to move.
Do I DM'd you a question?
Okay.
What's her name? Septu?
Lady Spectre.
Right? Spectu, sorry. Lady Spectu, council members, I'm wondering perhaps if there's something that you might be able to do for us as we help to bring all this to light. I'd like upgraded badges for those of us in the 6 who need them.
Ah. Well, Council Member Myrada has forbidden you from being her group of adventurers under her beck and call. If you would be part of House Spectus.
Oh my god, I love this old lady.
Such a thing could be provided. Yes. Now, I would ask in return, if you swore fealty to us, it would simply be a case of, in the most dire situation, you look out for us. But otherwise, your responsibilities, I'm afraid, will be quite low. In fact, you are able to do whatever you wish. If, of course, that is something you seek. In which case, for those who are a little bit more curious about the magical arts, perhaps up to 6th level could be provided.
And Russell was going to say 9th and then bargain down to 6th.
Fair.
Dude, I remember when we first started the campaign and Joe said 4th and 5th was reserved for kings.
No. There's about 3 people. You've misremembered. About 3 people in the continent have 8th. A few more will have like 7th, like the count, like the direct advisors to the Grey Houses. 6th is for highly respected magi.
It's actually 4 because Abigail, so jot that down. Fuck that crazy bitch.
That bitch don't have no badge, though.
True. Under the radar.
Andrasa nods graciously.
And they shall be
Thank you.
provided.
I love this lady.
Yo, above
I
board,
take a look?
should we leave the automaton with Grandma?
Right? Because
Yeah,
like,
if
we
we
don't
were gonna
want
leave
it
it with
with
the council
us.
anyway.
I don't want to leave it with
Yeah.
any of the other council members.
No,
as well.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
trust her.
I mean, there is a part of me that's kind of like, I'm not really sure at a certain point, like, because this is controlled by design. I'm
Yeah.
not sure exactly how compelling we can be to be like, all right, little idiot, you stay with these people.
Well, like
They're parents now.
leaving
Mom and
a form of communication between the head of the city and the
Yeah.
guy
New
building the new
town.
city seems good. And also, she's like a devout believer in.
Yeah, I think the best we can do is
Okay.
try to leave it.
But
Yeah.
also, like, will design just try to find a new herald for itself? I mean, this is bigger picture stuff, but like,
Dude, like we're long
gonna
fucking
leave.
gone.
What do we
we're
care?
we're so far gone by then,
So
dude.
much shit
Not
to
our
do.
Who cares? Who gives a
Like,
shit?
clean our hands of Warmsteps of like what we
Yeah.
can deal with
Good
right
luck,
now
have
and just
fun.
kind of push it away.
it's better to be possessed by design than it is by rage, right?
Yeah.
Feels-
Sure.
Well, I mean, you'd fucking
Yeah,
know, wouldn't you?
sure.
So why do you tell us? You'd fucking know.
I don't know,
Two
man.
sides of a coin, I would say, is probably what we're
Two sides
looking
of a
at.
coin. The lesser
But,
of two evils, perhaps.
These are the kind of problems that we will deal with when we have teleportation magic, and I'm
You're right.
glad of that. These are like the issues for later.
Yes.
These are,
Okay.
Yeah, these are later level issues.
These
Yeah,
are like
yeah,
this is
yeah.
level 17. Oh, I really wish we had remembered that this was going to be a huge issue.
Okay, we'll remember it. It's written.
We won't remember it, but
I'm gonna remember it.
Our
LG
note takers will remember.
Guys, writing it in a book isn't remembering.
remember
it,
that's
all right?
recollecting.
That helps you remember.
True.
They've found that writing things down does help you remember. So checkmate, non-writer of
I'm
myth.
a visual
She actually just
learner.
read that
I'm a
from the
visual
book.
learner. She wrote that on the first page.
I'm just a cooperative remember in that I just count on the note takers to remember for me when it gets really bad out here.
Yes.
That's how I do it.
So
The,
if we ever die, you guys are fucked.
So
Yeah.
just to bring
No,
things back
because-
in.
For multiple reasons.
I would
Mostly
remember what
emotionally.
I'm supposed to remember as my character.
Oh,
Well,
he's so method.
You better come blindfolded next
So
week.
Morgan really did just zone out in that fucking council chamber and ask the same question.
Dude, she was so locked in on maintaining the zone of truth. It was hard.
Good answer,
Okay,
Eugene.
okay, okay.
Love that.
Sorry, Joe.
No, it's okay.
You
It's
may
okay.
continue.
It's okay. You care a bunch. You see, she kind of leans across and says,
In the meanwhile, we must decide on a punishment in the coming days for 2 of the council members. If you would, guards, please take both Council Member Kerbal and Myrada into custody.
and you see Myrada says, if I might have a moment. Tyrannus was a problem. Is that not clear from this? Is the only thing I did wrong is not actually killing him and finishing the job? In this move, onward, you're going to need my counsel. My commerce, my coin. My connections. Once we move, what about the new trade routes? My connections to the long road creators? What about the access to the water nearby and those who know the fishermen in the area? What about building upon the greater land there? Connecting to the other cities through my connections. You expect your nose ahead?
That will be discussed, my dear, once we come to that. In the meanwhile, we'll have a nice chamber for you to wait in.
And you can see as the guards kind of step up towards her, Kerbal goes willingly. He kind of, nods his head and kind of has his arms folded, and they shackle and manacles up his arms. Myrada kind of stands, but elegantly kind of allows her hands to be taken. And she's kind of marched down past you. She kind of looks across the room and says, I do hope we meet again. Before she's pulled out of the chamber. They expect whose eyes start like drifting. And then you see her nursemaid come over toward her and then kind of pour a little something into her mouth.
I apologize, my ailment is a frequent cause for concern.
Do we want to ask about that?
I was gonna say, is it metagaming to be like, is someone poisoning you?
Yeah, can I? Can Carlisle
Actually, yeah,
do some
as a
kind of like
doctor.
medicine check?
You can do a medicine
to like
check if you
understand
like.
what exactly this ailment is.
Yeah,
Just in case while he's doing that, can I identify her to see if she's under any spells?
you can.
Mm.
Yeah, Carlisle will do a
Damn.
once over, 32.
30.
An average
God
32 once
damn.
over.
Yum, yum,
You
yum.
would know exactly what this is. You notice no
Oh.
spells on her. There's a sickness called the Sleeper's Scourge. To this day, there's been no known cure for it. The reason a lot of people take adventuring and go adventuring, the magic of this world will heal you when you sleep. That doesn't happen to everyone. It usually is those who dream after great adventures or explorations, or those creatures of significant power. Not everyone gets the rest of sleep and restoration. A lot of people take up the adventuring life as a means of trying to have that kind of ability, but it comes with its own danger. The deity that kind of oversees it has sometimes been kind of named the Sleeper itself, or even in Godforged, you knew her as the healing goddess. You understand long resting. You understand that kind of magic that comes with rest. But there's also a very, very small percentage of people, and no one really understands why, and it seems almost random when it's targeted. They get the Sleeper's Scourge, and it is the opposite effect. Whenever you are to sleep and long rest, you instead become more sick, more pain, more... you lose a part of yourself every time you sleep.
Oh, wow.
Like for a moment. And the way that people fix this or cope with it is to essentially stop sleeping and be kept in a permanent state of awake as much as you can with potions that will keep you kind of functioning.
Oh my god.
But it's a sickness that will eventually will kill you. And there's no known cure. It happens randomly. Very small percentage of people.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Carlisle would know there's nothing that can be done on hand here to suddenly fix that.
It would take something probably like a some of the great. I'd say with your 32, you know that like some of the greatest spells in D&D of like probably 9th level, maybe 7th or upwards, if you can find certain ones, could potentially get rid of it. But it's not necessarily a curse. It's a sickness of the gods. That just affects random people. But she would kind of nod her head and say,
as we prepare for the next functions of our town, I will leave you in the grace of the council to deal with whatever threat that is Council Member Kerbal has put on our doorstep.
thank you.
6. I will have your badges made up for you.
Thank you.
Let us go, Ironwrought.
And you see it kind of turn. A guard wheels it
Councilwoman.
outside. She kind of turns her head to you, Lady Spectacles.
And beyond the council, my dear. But yes.
In Tyrannus' final moments, when rage lifted from his vision, when he was free of influence, we saw only a man of grief who had had his family taken. I thought you should know.
The Tyrannus I knew. Of, at least. It does not sound like the same one that was described in this anger.
I do not believe it was.
Lady Myrala will be dealt with accordingly.
Yes.
And she's wheeled out of the room, followed by her nursemaid, the few guards, and the iron-wrought bodyguard, as they wander back towards her keep. The remaining council members, right now, down to 5 of them, kind of sit there quietly, wait for the kind of chambers to clear for a second, and then Crane Gio's got a big smile on his face, excited by it. And you can see a couple of the others, like Bestmoth and Vexa, are kind of almost intrigued now. Almost they see the kind of potential of growth from this. Lester is stressed. He and Leproth is kind of just completely bewildered, still staring wide-eyed, confused at what just happened. Lester kind of leans forward and seeks justice. Well, the 6, we here on the council respect Lady Spectu's opinions and her government. If we were to lead a full-on assault with the guards we have against these encampments, we would likely lose a lot of people that we can't afford to in a move. But we can likely send a small portion of them to attack some of the campsites if you are able to scatter their leadership. But we'll leave the planning and strategy to you, as our military leader has unfortunately found himself indisposed. If what they said is 200 to 300 folks, I'm not sure you can deal with that many, but if we can cut the head off the boulette, if you will, perhaps that is something you would be willing to do, and we would compensate you accordingly for doing so.
So above board, they're saying if given the right information, if we're able to attack the leadership, then they'll send a few people to try and deal with the
They're basically saying this attack on the town is happening regardless, and now they don't have a leader. If we can take out the big bads, they can deal with the bandits and the riffraff.
Yep.
Okay.
You guys want to kill a bullet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Nah.
Not our
Honestly,
problem.
we've done enough for these fucking
Have
people.
design like build a wall or something.
You know, to
If given the right information, anything that we can be told to help us prepare accordingly will help.
We shall send you whatever we have of their location once Kerbal tells us, and I imagine he will. I imagine we don't want to draw too much attention to this. If you're able to attack at night, it would probably be to your benefit, but whether you go tonight or tomorrow night is up to you. In the meanwhile, this council is appreciative of your aid and your value of life. If there is nothing else, then we thank you.
Thank you for listening.
I bows his head, leans back.
Yeah, I guess we can get out of here, right?
I'll pick up the battle axe to bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap it in like a
Alright.
cloth so nobody walks up and like touches it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, can I identify it to see if we can gain any more insight on what's going on here?
Sure.
Smart.
I will do that.
You cast the identify spell. You'd learn that the wielders of these can invoke a rage, similar to barbarian rage. It empowers the person that is using it. But you learn that it's a sentient weapon that has got a kind of almost a presence within it. Sentient weapons are differing. Sentient weapons do not need like a soul or a body to attach to. They kind of almost attach themselves to an object. So you can kind of almost see the sentience of this creature that lies in it. But it's like a slither of rage. You get the kind of same portions that you kind of felt when you're in the chamber, but very, very subtle. Like a sickness found early. And you can see that, yeah, the general gist of it is that it would put them into a kind of a barbarian rage state when they activate it, usually. But who knows what it could occur if it was to go greater.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or I'll roll an Arcana check, because I could tell you the information if you will.
Yes.
I'll give you advantage because you technically identified already the basic properties.
I will roll twice. 24.
You would learn not necessarily the exact functions of it, but if it were to fester longer, the rage would become more like a berserk rage.
Oh. Okay.
A frenzied rage, if you will. But with you being dismissed by the council, convincing them to move their town, help with this attack, and also stop the sentient arms from flipping out, and also stop the crystal from being used, you've saved the entirety of Warmsteps. So we'll go ahead and take a little break before we come back for whatever you guys want to kind of finish up with as we're closing towards the end of the Warmsteps arc. Only a couple more tick boxes to go. All right, we'll be back in like 5. Go get yourselves a drink, use the loo and whatnot, and we'll see you guys then. Good job, everyone. All right, sorry about the chat. I'm back. Tell the group. All right. Okay. Let me unmute. Thank you for those subs that came in. I really appreciate it. We're trying to push up back to 600 subs. So I really do appreciate it. It's very kind. All right. All right. Welcome back, folks. Hello. We just left off with you kind of leaving the council chambers. We're not going to go super long today, but just to give you a little bit of direction of where we go next. You've just left the council chamber, having kind of achieved everything you needed to achieve. The question is, what would you like to do now?
I mean, we have to wait till we know where the bullet is, so go to camp or whatever.
That could be something you do, yeah. If you have multiple things on your platform, you can wait until you learn the bullet's location. You could, if there's anything you want to do around camp, you can do that. It's kind of a whatever you want to do, man.
I don't know that there's really anything we wanted to do at camp, right? I think the bullet is
priority number one.
Yeah, the only camp thing we have is a big deal, so we
got fucking just another bullet in camp, bro.
We could check on that Adelaide because she's wanted. There is that, but I don't.
Oh yeah.
What are we gonna do? I guess.
Well, the hope is, right, once the bullet is done with, we want to move the camp far away anyway.
True.
Yep.
And move the camp far away and then be like, Abigail, let's have a chat, not here. The two-prong system.
So you're not going to confront Abigail until after you've moved?
I think we wanted to move first.
Okay.
I believe that's what we had discussed last time.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. In which case, you would head back towards your camp. The design automaton would stay up there helping the council kind of basically go and take all the armaments away from the sentient arms folks, and probably with the help of Kerbal as well. If there's anything you want to do in camp, let me know. Otherwise, we'll pass time until a messenger comes over to you.
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Are we kind of just resting? Is this like a prolonged rest situation?
This is more like not really a long rest, but like a waiting a couple of hours or so to before they whilst they're interrogating.
Like go to her tent, and I'm gonna try and use my new level 9 warlock ability, contact patron.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay, and let's do that. As you're in your camp and away from the area in general, you would lean down. And what specifically does it say? It says you can do contact patron, and there's a caveat, right?
I can do it once per long rest without expending a spell slot specifically to contact my patron. The spell is contact other plane. Specifically. Yeah. I actually don't know if it would work in this instance, right? If it's on the same plane?
No, I think it does.
Okay.
I think there's a... Hold on. Isn't there something else? Does it say something at the end of that feature about you don't take the damage if it fails?
You automatically succeed.
You automatically succeed.
That's the extra... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you meant to...
it'd fuck me up if it failed.
Yes, yeah. Usually it fucks you up.
If I do it to contact my patron, I automatically succeed. But if I don't, I have to make the roll. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it allows you to ask up to 5 questions. Because you're going in... you can contact... So contact other plane just means you contact a demigod, the spirit of a long sage, or some knowledgeable entity from another plane, as in to say the creature originated from another plane. It would work because it's part of your feature. You're able to ask up to 5 questions,
Mm-hmm.
And I answer with one word answers. And if it would be misleading, I might offer a short phrase as an answer instead.
Okay.
All right, you can lean down, spend the time. Are you ritually casting it, or are you spending the minute? You got.
I'll spend the minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So she'll sort of kind of enter a meditation with the sword like on her lap, horizontally.
In the darkness of your mind, you see a light approach in front of you, just glowing. Like a kind of humanoid-shaped sun, kind of rays coming off of it. You know you're in the presence of your patron, and it awaits your questions.
Yeah, she'll like just kind of sit there for a while and then say, I feel my power growing of late. Is that your doing?
Yes.
I've also heard that something dark lurks beneath the Dreadvault. Is that true?
Yes.
Then I must ask, are you guarding it? Or are you it?
Patience.
When will you give me answers?
When you return home.
Morgane like has questions she wants to ask, but knows it's like they're not questions she feels like will be answered. So she just kind of bows her head and says, I thank you for your blessings. And then we'll cut off the communication.
Communication fades. Does anyone want to do anything else?
I think if they have time, Indrasa in her tent will, just because Sam reminded me of it, she'll try her level 10 feature. Which is called Council of Us. So she's going to cast Legend Lore. And she can, it's slightly different cast like this, so she can kind of ask a question and see the possibilities play out by consulting with different versions of her, basically different realities of her. So I think she would cast it, and she would say, what happens when we confront Southern? Is there a possibility she He's on our side.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to say you'd only be able to ask up to like the what happens when we do it. Just because legend lore is very much a... You choose the topic, it'll be a very short phrase. So more...
Yeah, sure,
like,
that's fine. It said like... Yeah, it was like you could ask to see how you would fare in your next battle or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was modeling off of that.
So kind of like how...
So sure.
How would it go for that? Okay?
Yeah. I have to roll.
Could you roll the D100, please?
41.
Okay. This would be technically very familiar because you have spent a lot of time around them and you've learned their truth. So this will be mostly truth. You see your vision breaks almost like you're in a house of mirrors, and you can see all of these kind of scenarios where a series of you and the six wander in. You see as you kind of go up there and you question. You see yourselves ask the questions. Or tell her you know. You know about her. You know about what happened before. You see her stand up defensively. She looks perturbed but determined and demands you step outside, away from Spring, who is looking confused and curious. You see remove curse cast on Spring and a fight breaks out. You see a battle of magic back and forth with your party and Spring involved as well, fighting her. She's trying to stop Spring from attacking her. She's happily throwing spells your way to harm you if you get involved before she teleports out. In another scenario, you see as you're questioning it and you do step outside away from Spring. You tell her you know. And she tells you she did it for a good reason. You can see this almost moment where she is reluctant to tell you why, but assures you that she had a good reason. You don't, in these versions, you don't necessarily hear the words per se. You don't hear what's going to happen, but you do hear, you almost feel like she is telling some old untold truths. You've taken a chance to step away from Spring, so she is giving you some truthful answers. And then there's one scenario where you tell her in front of Spring, unlock Spring, and a big argument kicks off. And Slendai simply teleports away. And then they merge back together.
We mulls it over and wait.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you want to do?
I think so.
Okay.
Would this count as a short rest?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Were we just out for 1 hour? Like, how long are we waiting?
He said an hour or two.
Yeah. Basically a couple hours. For
I
them
do want to
to
start
interrogate.
making. I don't know the rules for making magic items because my new level maybe do that a lot faster. I at least want to start making an uncommon item.
Yeah. I think artificers do it in a fun way, don't they?
I do it in much less time now.
Okay, let me see. Is there an item you have in mind?
Fourth. Yes, an amulet of proof against detection and location.
Okay. Are you using the artificer function? There's an infuse item one for that, right? But if it's not in
No,
there,
I'm not infusing it. It's not in my infusion
Okay.
list. I want to actually
Then
craft this.
let me get my crafting rule up.
I'm going to just start taking down the hours I need. I can craft things in 1/8 of the time and for 1/4 of the gold cost now.
Okay. Then, what I'm gonna do that for? So, give me a. You can do it in 1/4 time. I removed the time cost for a lot of our crafting, and what I did instead was you craft things when you sit down to craft them, but you need the materials, and you roll to see how strong it comes out. So what I'm going to say instead is you're basically going to get a bonus to your roll, so it's more likely to upgrade it to a stronger item.
Okay.
But I will say for up to uncommon items, you won't need the materials to make them. You can make up to, like, say, your proficiency bonus or something. So that way, if you want to make that and just get it as a uncommon roll, it's going to be a basic kind of roll. But you can make that essentially immediately if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to try that.
Okay. So this won't be able to roll out to, like, rare, legendary, etc. But
yeah, I just need, like, the basic item.
Or actually, I would say it can roll rare, because I always like the idea of it having something. So you're going to roll.
Just in case I, like, nat 20 it or something. Or...
Yeah, well, it's going to be a D100. You were going to roll a D100. And you are going to have... you're going to be able to plus your intelligence modifier to it. So if you want to do that, it's going to be... This thing becomes rare on a 90 plus.
Okay. It's intelligence modifier. And would the benefit that I used to have add anything else? The thing that makes it normally cost like 1/4 of the gold and a
I'm gonna say.
Time.
I'm gonna say. Let's do. Let's add your proficiency bonus and your intelligence modifier to the roll.
Okay.
The cost part of it is going to be the fact that you can make this for free.
Yeah. Okay. Then.
The bonuses are going to come down to the time, like swap, and the cost means that you don't have to go and get like a monstrous item.
Nice, dude. 69.
69. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So you'd be able to make a amulet against, would you say, proof against detection and location pretty much immediately. You can just craft this thing together, weave it together, and make it for free.
Okay,
I'll come up with
this
official
rest,
one
I'm just
to
gonna
fix that for you as well.
I'll head to Abigail's area and give this to her.
Interested. Okay.
Wait, Adelaide or Abigail?
Or not Adelaide.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's what I was like. Okay.
I saw Abigail.
Yeah, I thought this was a crazy move. Crazy move by Desmond. I was like, all right, okay, let's go.
I'm going to give it to Adelaide.
Yeah, she'd say,
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. What exactly is it?
We went back to town recently and we saw a sign saying they were trying to find you and there might be spells trying to search for you. This should block any of those spells from reaching you.
All right.
I just didn't want to leave camp to do something and come back to find out you've been taken again.
It feels magical, like it wants me to wear it. Thank you.
Yeah, I just hope you stay safe here.
Okay.
And
I will be out then. Just stay safe.
Okay. And I'm going to sit down and look at your stuff and actually give you a little rule set over that, because that will come up into a cool thing. Because that way you'll be able to make a few of these uncommon items quite often.
Yes.
Such is the benefit of being an artificer. Okay. Yeah, you make that immediately. Craft it out of whatever wares you've got. Like a makeshift version of it. And she has a amulet proof against detection and location. Okay. Anyone want to do anything else? In which case, if you wait, after about a couple hours since you left, you would see as coming in from the town itself is a couple of guards following along with a... you would see this kind of younger man wearing a kind of a crest that has 12 boats on it. And you can see it's kind of got these like 12 boats across. He's a human man, probably in his like mid-20s. Blonde hair, a little bit shaggy, a little bit curled at the bottom. Not kind of unwelcome to look at. Has a very slight kind of amount of like stubble in his face. And he wanders over to you and says, "Hello, my name's Elric. I come on behalf of the 12 Wards Company. The council has sent me, whilst council member Oshiak is not available. I have the most experience in matters of warfare, though usually naval, so I could use your expertise here as well, but if you have a place to talk, I can give you what we've learned."
We'll look to Indrasa. Can we use your space?
Of course, dear. Turns around.
Yeah, he wanders into the tent with you as well. The guards stand outside as well, and as he goes in, he kind of unrolls a kind of a makeshift map, puts a couple of stones, paper holds down on them, paperweights, and you'd see they've kind of marked off on the map where you are, and pointed to. You'd see these kind of 3 locations. One like kind of a little bit further up, one a little further in, and then one in the center. And you'd see they're kind of in the mountains. And he says, former council member Kerbal has given us enough information. We haven't been able to verify it properly, though we have had some scouting of birds in the area, and it seems to be at least mostly correct. We have no reason to doubt currently. But what is believed to be happening is over 150 are stationed here, probably over 100 are stationed here, and he points to 2 like on the sides in the mountains. There's a series of Dwarga from the Underdark who serve under the Boulette, along with various cutthroats, bandits, and cheaper kind of mercenaries that work on the underground. We've also got word that there are the couple of leaders that are involved in this are the Boulette and a man named Niva, the Diamond-Blooded. The current location that is most vulnerable is a campsite here, and he circles above this kind of like hill. Kerbal was meant to have sent a representative of Hale's Sentient Arms, along with a few guards from it, to go and meet there to discuss the following plans and attack. It is not believed this is where the majority of the forces are. This is a meeting point. The Boulette and Niva will both be there. They will have a small contingency of soldiers, likely less than 30. Still a considerable amount. If we are to send an army after them, they will notice.
I see.
But if a small team goes in, they might be able to take out the leadership right then. If we are given that word, at the same time we can send forces to attack both here and here. And he points at the other 2 locations. We can attack them at night, even if we don't full-on attack them, and we attack them with small amounts, burn their camps, scatter them. If they have no leadership, we're hoping that they'll slip away and we can just hire for the rest of them to be hunted down, if need be, until they get away from our region. But if we want to, by the end of the night, the meeting is supposed to happen later tonight. If it doesn't happen, they're waiting for word for... the meetings are meant to accompany the idea of they go there, discuss the battle plans, and in a couple of days, he would send word for them to come and attack. But after tonight, they'll be moving back to their main camps. After tonight, we're talking a battle.
Then we
Feel-
should take advantage.
You think you can do that? If not, I can put a small force to strike, but the bullet is not an easy target.
Looks to the rest of the group.
How far is it?
You know, it's about a 2.5 hour journey out. It's not far from where you were last used to defend the town. It's in the hills just above that area. We have word that under 30 of them are roughly there. The majority of the bullets that they own, which is ranging somewhere close to 12, is in their major encampment, though there will be likely a couple there. Apparently, the bullet himself keeps his closest one, Gem Mouth, close to him at all proximity. If you can attack in the night, that might be our best bet.
Okay.
If you don't feel up to that, then we would aim for a battle in 2 days. It's whatever you prefer. More subtle approach, attacking the snake at the
I
head.
think we should attack tonight.
Yes.
What time is it now?
Early, probably only about 2 p.m.
Man, we truly got shit done today, huh?
We really did.
Yeah.
But it's only 2 p.m. I can tell because I always know exactly what time, how much time is left until sunset. So we would need to wait here for however many hours before we leave to travel to whatever we have time.
And do you have a set method for contact, or should we
We can bring.
cast sending?
We can do animal messages, but if you have sending, that would be useful. We usually have a magi with us. He kind of nods and goes, if you were to send to me, I can cast it back and forth. And one of our magi is aware of your group, so they'd be able to contact you as well.
Sounds simple enough.
Well, then we'll plan our attacks at the same time. If you give us warning of when you're going to be heading out, we're going to station some soldiers nearby both camps on horseback and raid their kind of exterior camps at that time.
Understood.
All right. And he kind of circles it. You're going to expect a campsite there. Like I said, 30 odd of them. They're kind of embedded into the cliff sides. Their torches should give them away, hopefully enough illumination in the night. No bigger than a kind of a mining encampment is what you're expecting. If you can do this quietly and quickly, you might have less of a fight on your hands. Okay.
All right.
All right, well, we'll be in contact. Good luck. You see him kind of slip out. Yep, the guards. Leaving all of you in there to discuss, if you wish.
It should be easy for us.
Just do you want to leave now or later, I presume, right? Do you want to get there when it's day and scout it out a bit better? Do you want to wait?
Perhaps sooner is better than later.
Morgane will smirk. It makes no difference to me.
We all have dark vision now.
Yeah, I have
Technically, yeah.
goggies.
Do we want to switch the 2 night vision items since you're probably going to do more spying than me? Because the lens, the monocle.
Me?
Yeah. The monocle lets you spy up to 300 feet away. And I feel like you do a
Ooh.
lot better with that than me.
Sure.
And I could just have the regular night vision goggles.
Yeah, sounds good. Bro, I'll take it.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So your intention is to attack that night?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
go there
Go
in the
now
day
to
and then...
scout it out. Yeah.
Then, if you haven't got anything else to do in the camp, then you can head out towards the encampment of the Boulette. And Nivar. Does anyone remember Nivar?
That's what I made.
Please refresh my memory.
Come on, note takers.
He was the.
It's my old
bandit.
notebook now.
Wasn't he the guy at the who killed everybody in the boot bill, whatever, and stacked all the bodies behind the thing? And I made him give me his hairpin.
He was the
before
one
he
that
left.
He's just because he's the one that you fought in the church scenario, and you killed all of the bandits there, and you let him go. He was the leader there, the dark elf that you fought in the massacre at the church. If you don't remember that scene, it was back in like episode 20-ish.
I made him
Church
put down all of his weapons, and he had.
I'm
and he gave me a hairpin.
I have a really bad memory.
Let me-
I'm sure people
let
in
me show you.
chat
Hold
are having trouble
It was
remembering.
remember
too.
this.
boot bill, I think. Boot something. Boot,
Hold on,
whatever.
I'll show
It
you.
was-
I'll show you. He was the guy
Thank
that.
you.
I mean, you have to.
My
have to move
memory's
once.
ass.
It's okay. Let me move you guys. I'll move you guys to the old map where you fought them in case you remember this.
Okay. Slay.
It was the ones you fought in this map here.
It was the place I
Oh,
shot
okay.
fireworks
Crashed.
into this
I
building.
remember now.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we
Really
crashed
early
it.
on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nivar's the one you
Okay.
let get away, so he's now one of your
That's
targets in this battle. One of the leaders of this bandit crew.
Okay.
Did he just like abandon the rest of his people? I'm trying to remember.
You
Or did
killed
we
them all.
actually let him?
You
We
let him
killed
go.
everybody,
No, I
and
know
then
we killed them all, but did he? Sorry, I'm asking. Did he just abscond, like get away from us, or like?
no,
did
we
No,
we
you let him
let
go. You let
I'm
him
trying to
live.
remember why.
because Morgaine was like, "You could go,"
Okay.
Yeah,
and
you
then
kind of
we were like,
robbed him and let him leave.
"Yeah," and then I
Okay,
made
okay.
him leave all of his stuff, and I was like, "You can't take your shit with you, at least."
Okay. Got it.
That's the one that the
I remember
Carlisle
the
got the
fight.
spear off.
I remember the guy, if I'm real.
Yeah, the spear.
Well, my point just being, he survived and now he's here.
Okay,
with that
got it. Sorry.
in notion, that's okay. You are heading off out of Warmsteps for your final kind of trip that would bring you back here to cut the head off of the Boulette and deal with a bandit threat for the final time here in Warmsteps. The last thing you need to do in this town before you move on. We'll end tonight's episode there so we can save that for next time. And I kind of said to the crew that we're going to do a little bit of an item cleanup, so it's better if we finish now and dive into that so we don't have staring at 500 pages with who has what anymore. But we'll go ahead and finish there. Thanks everyone for playing. Good job on saving the town. If you didn't have Zone of Truth, you didn't do those rolls properly, Commerce was going to win, and I do not know how you'd have to convince them another way. So you got the best scenario for the people, and another enemy on the list. We'll do a little shout out. Sorry I didn't move you, Dodger. I didn't have time to do any move around and stuff with the cameras.
Oh.
But it will come at some point, I promise. I will go around. Let's start with you, Dodger, so you can do a shout before them, so you don't feel overburdened
so
by the
much.
weight of their despair.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Dodger. Not weighed down by despair at all. A delightful individual that you can find at twitch.tv/Dexbonus. I'm playing a Minesweeper game called Proverbs right now, where you
Send it to me.
where you make a gigantic painting by doing small sections of. It's like a Picross Minesweeper crossover. It's very fun. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. And the Golden Idol DLC came out.
Yeah. It's a quick one. It's good. They're gonna have 4, you know. I didn't know that before. There's 4 DLCs.
Really?
Yeah. Sam.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking injured my shoulder during Toxic Sunday.
Oh.
That was a horror. That we played a horror game and it made me jump at one point so bad that I've pulled a muscle in my shoulder.
No, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Good.
No problem.
I'll probably hunt
I mean, not
monsters this
good,
week.
but, like-
you know,
Yeah.
Funny.
Cool.
all kinds of monsters I hunt. You know, the
Yeah,
the
home monsters.
metaphorical, the real ones, the metaphorical ones, the ones that pretend to be my friends.
Whoa.
I think I was correct on the evaluation of despair. Twitch.tv/Strippin. Is Tomo here? No, I think
I
he had
don't
to
think
step
so.
away. All right, Twitch.tv/Tomato. It's probably more than... honestly, this is his longest shout-out he's ever done. Bree.
Hello, I'm Bree Bun. I do variety streams. I stream 9:30 a.m. PT most of the weekdays. I'm in Monster Hunter still. Fun.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Go and check her out as she tries to take on Gormagala.
Tempered Gore Solo. I think I could totally do it now. I fixed my build.
Okay, nice. I want to see you do it.
Yeah.
Shayne.
I finally got Monster Hunter like a week before I thought I was gonna. I've been
Oh,
playing it every
yeah.
waking minute. I can't stop.
Yeah.
I didn't play Worlds that much because I was so late to the train that I was like, oh, everybody's already like done it. But
That's
this
how I
one,
did it. Mm-hmm.
I'm like sort of on time, and now I can't stop. I'm like addicted
It's
to this
so
game.
good.
Yeah. OG.
Hi, I'm OLG. Sometimes I do stuff and sometimes I don't.
Twitch.tv/OldLadyGamer.
That was a tomato level shout out.
To the
Ran
point.
the torch for him.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Someone's got to bear it.
True.
There's a Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes. I'm a little bit late on it. I'll throw up some stuff this weekend, at the end of this weekend. I suppose this is the weekend ending. Otherwise, lots of random games this week. I have no idea what comes out, considering Monster Hunter craze is slowly dying down, so I don't know what comes out. I know Atomfall soon. I think that's not until the end of the month. But lots of games soon, I'm sure. Otherwise, we will be back next week. I think time zone change, etc. So keep your eyes away on that. I don't think we change our clocks for another couple of weeks or so. But thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for watching. And we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.